I was
Good
sketching
evening.
drainage patterns for the
Thank you all for
southeast
being
corner
here.
when the
It's a
doorbell
pleasure
rang.
to host you
March
in this
afternoons in
incredible
Portland
setting
usually
tonight.
meant peace, retired life.
Welcome, everyone.
Finally offering what 40
We are
years of
so
deadlines
thrilled you
never
could
did
join
time
us
to think time to
today
plan
on
gardens
this beautiful
instead
occasion.
of buildings. The bell rang again
We are
insistent.
so glad
I
you
set
could
my
all
pencil
make it
down,
here today
marking my
to
place on the
share in
blueprint
this special
with a worn
moment.
brass paperweight Elizabeth had given me
To
for
Sarah
our
and
10th
James,
anniversary.
thank you all for coming
Rufus
out
stood
today
on
to
my
celebrate
porch,
this
grinning
incredible
like he'd
moment
won the
with them.
lottery.
We
A
wish you
woman I'd
both
never
a
seen
lifetime of
before
happiness.
stood beside him,
Welcome,
her
everyone.
hand resting on his arm
We are so
with
glad
practiced
you could
ease.
join us today
Dad, we're
for this
engaged.
wonderful
My son's words
celebration.
tumbled out before I could ask them
It
inside.
means so much
I
to
wanted
see
you to
all
meet her
of you
right
here
away.
today
The
celebrating
right
their
away
love.
struck me first.
We
No
wish
phone
them
call,
all the
no
best.
gradual introduction.
Welcome, everyone.
Just this sudden presentation,
glad
like
you could
showing off a
join us
car
on this
he'd bought on
beautiful
impulse.
day to
Come in,
celebrate
I
this
managed,
momentous
stepping aside.
occasion.
This
To
is
Sarah and
unexpected.
James,
I
thank
know,
you for
I know.
inviting us to share in your
Rufus
special
practically
day.
vibrated with
Your
nervous
love
energy
is an
as they
inspiration
entered.
to us
But
all.
when you know, you
It's
know, right?
wonderful to see
The
so
woman
many
extended
of you
her
here
hand,
today.
Celeste
We
Morgan.
truly
I've heard
appreciate
so
you
much about you, Mr.
celebrating
Boyd.
this moment with us.
Rufus says you designed half
Good
the
evening.
notable buildings in Portland.
Thank you all for
Her
being
grip
here.
was firm,
It's a pleasure
confident,
to
manicure,
host you
expensive.
in this incredible
French tips
setting
recent.
tonight.
Notable is
Welcome,
generous,
everyone.
I replied. Functional
We are
is
so
accurate.
thrilled you
Please
could
call
join
me
us today
Delbert.
on this
She smiled
beautiful
and
occasion.
immediately began cataloging my
We
entryway.
are so glad
Her
you
eyes
could
swept
all make
across
it
the
here
original
today
crown molding,
to share
paused on
in
the
this
walnut
special
banister
moment.
calculated dimensions with what
To
looked
Sarah
like
and
professional
James,
assessment.
thank you all for coming
This
out today to
craftsmanship
celebrate
is
this incredible
extraordinary.
moment with them.
You don't see
We
this
wish you
quality
both
anymore.
a lifetime of
Built in
happiness.
1923,
Welcome,
I said
everyone.
watching her absorb the
We are
information
so
like someone
glad you could
appraising
join us
inventory.
today for
We
this
moved to the living
wonderful
room. I
celebration.
offered coffee, which they accepted.
It means
As I
so
prepared
much
it
to
in the
see
kitchen,
all of
I could
you
hear
here
Celeste
today
asking Rufus about
celebrating their
square
love.
footage, property
We
lines,
wish them all
neighborhood
the
development
best.
patterns. Her
Welcome,
voice carried
everyone.
that smooth
We are so
professionalism
glad
I
you could
recognized
join
from
us
years
on
of
this
contractor
beautiful
meetings,
day to
people who
celebrate
measured
this
value before
momentous
appreciating
occasion.
beauty.
To
So I
Sarah
said,
and
returning
James,
with the tray,
thank you for
tell me how
inviting
you
us
two
to
met.
share in your special
Rufus
day.
launched into the story
Your
with too
love
much
is an
enthusiasm.
inspiration to us all.
Networking event
It's
industry
wonderful
connection.
to see so many
She was
of you here
consulting for a
today.
luxury real
We
estate
truly
firm.
appreciate
He was
you
presenting on
celebrating this
sustainable
moment with
development.
us.
Their eyes met across the
Good
conference
evening.
hall.
Thank
Very
you all for
cinematic.
being here.
Celeste
It's a
supplemented
pleasure
with
to
precise
host you
details.
in this incredible
I
setting
work with high
tonight.
net worth clients, primarily
Welcome,
property
everyone.
portfolios, investment
We are so
strategies,
thrilled
estate
you could
transitions.
join us today.
When I met
on
Rufus,
this
his
beautiful
passion for
occasion.
ethical development impressed me.
We are
So many
glad
people in
you
our
could
industry
all make
just
it here
chase
today
She
to
said
share
high
in
net
this
worth
special
3 times
moment.
in 5 minutes. What about your family,
Sarah
I
and
asked.
James,
Where
thank
are
you
they?
all for coming out
She
today to
deflected
celebrate this
smoothly.
incredible moment with
Seattle
them. We wish
originally,
you
but we
both
weren't
a
close.
lifetime
I
of
prefer
happiness.
looking forward rather
Welcome,
than back.
everyone.
Rufus has told
We are
me
so
wonderful
glad you
stories
could
about
join
you,
us
though.
today for
Retired
this
architect
wonderful
widower built this
celebration.
beautiful home. He clearly
It
got
means
his
so
talent from
much
you.
to see all of
The
you here
compliment
today
felt rehearsed.
celebrating
I
their
sipped my
love.
coffee and said nothing.
We wish them
Actually,
all the
Rufus
best.
said, pulling papers from his
Welcome,
messenger
everyone.
bag, Celeste suggested something. I think shows real maturity, a prenuptial agreement for transparency and
To
mutual
Sarah and
protection.
James, thank
He
you
handed me
for
the
inviting
document
us
like
to
it was
share in
proof
your
of her
special
virtue.
day.
I put on
Your
my reading
love is
glasses,
an
slowly
inspiration
buying
to us
time to
all.
process this
It's
development.
wonderful to see
The
so many of
contract
you
was
here
thick,
today.
20 pages of
We
legal
truly
language.
appreciate you
This is thorough, I said.
celebrating this
My
moment
attorney
with
drafted
us.
it. Celeste explained.
Good evening.
I believe in
Thank you all
protecting
for
both
being
parties.
here. It's a
Marriage is
pleasure
a
to host
partnership,
you
but
in this
smart
incredible
partnerships
setting
have clear
tonight.
terms. Don't you agree,
Welcome,
Delbert?
everyone.
I flipped
We are
through
so
the pages.
thrilled you could join us
Clause
today
7, all family
on this
assets
beautiful
acquired during
occasion.
marriage, subject to equal division.
We are so glad
Family
you
assets,
could all
not
make it here
marital
today
assets.
to
Family.
share in
Clause
this
12,
special
inheritance
moment.
received during marriage becomes marital
To
property
Sarah
after 1
and
year.
James, thank you
Has
all
Rufus
for coming
had
out today to
independent
celebrate
legal
this
review, I
incredible
asked.
moment
Dad,
with them.
It's
We
fair.
wish you both
Celeste
a
wouldn't, I'm
lifetime
sure
of
I interrupted
happiness.
gently.
Welcome,
Just
everyone.
standard practice, son.
We are so
Any
glad
major
you could
contract
join us
deserves two
today
perspectives.
for this wonderful
Rufus
celebration.
looked wounded. Celeste touched his arm,
It means so
redirecting his
much to
attention
see
with
all
subtle
of you
pressure.
here today.
Would you like to see the
celebrating
rest of
their
the house,
love.
she asked me.
We
I'm
wish them all
fascinated
the
by
best.
this period's architecture.
Welcome, everyone.
We toured the
We
rooms.
are so glad
She
you could
photographed
join
crown
us on
molding,
this beautiful
supposedly for inspiration, but her angles captured more than decorative
To
details.
Sarah and James,
In the master
thank
bedroom,
you
she
for
paused
inviting
by the
us to
window
share in your
overlooking the
special
garden.
day.
Such a
Your
large
love
house
is
for
an
one person,
inspiration
she
to us
observed.
all.
It's
Have you
wonderful to see
considered
so
what
many
happens
of you
to it
here today.
eventually?
We truly
question landed
appreciate
with
you
calculated weight.
celebrating this moment with
Eventually
us.
is a long way off, I replied.
Good evening.
Of
Thank you
course,
all
she
for being
smiled.
here.
I only
It's a
meant
pleasure
estate
to
planning
host
is
you
crucial.
in this
Rufus
incredible
mentioned you
setting
haven't
tonight.
updated your will recently.
Welcome, everyone.
Did he
We are
My
so
tone
thrilled
cooled.
you could join
That's
us
a private
today
matter between
on this
father and
beautiful
son.
occasion.
She backtracked with professional grace.
We are so glad
Families
you
should
could all
discuss
make
these
it
things
here today
openly,
to
prevent
share in this
misunderstandings
special
later.
moment.
I prefer preventing
To Sarah
misunderstandings
and
now.
James, thank you all
Back
for coming out
downstairs,
today to
Rufus
celebrate
checked
this
his watch.
incredible moment with
We
them.
should go.
We wish you
Reservation
both
at
a
6.
lifetime of happiness.
At the door, Celeste hugged
Welcome,
me with
everyone.
calculated warmth.
We are
I'll
so
take good
glad
care
you
of
could
him,
join us
she whispered
today
against my shoulder.
for this wonderful
And I'm so
celebration.
glad we'll be family.
It
The
means
emphasis
so
on
much
family
to see
sounded
all of
possessive.
you here today.
After they drove away, I stood
celebrating
in the
their
doorway
love.
holding the prenup.
We wish them
Small
all
details
the best.
accumulated in my mind,
Welcome,
like
everyone.
structural defects
We are
during
so
inspection.
glad you could join
The
us on
diamond
this
bracelet she
beautiful
wore 3
day
carats
to
minimum,
celebrate
worth more
this
than 6
momentous
months of
occasion.
consultant salary.
To Sarah and James,
Designer handbag,
thank you for inviting
knowledge
us
of
to
inheritance
share in
law
your special
exceeding
day.
casual interest.
Your love
Questions
is an
about my will
inspiration to us
before
all.
questions about
It's
my favorite
wonderful
foods
to
or
see
hobbies.
so many of
I
you
walked
here
to my
today.
study, spread
We
the contract
truly
across my
appreciate
desk,
you
and began
celebrating
making
this
notes.
moment with us.
Circled clause 12,
Good evening.
underlined clause 7.
Thank you all
In
for
the
being
margin,
here.
I wrote one word.
It's a pleasure to host
Why later
you
that night,
in
I
this
found myself
incredible
standing before the
setting
bedroom
tonight.
dresser, touching the silver
Welcome,
frame that held
everyone.
Elizabeth's photograph.
We are so
8
thrilled
years
you
gone,
could
and I
join us
still
today
sometimes turn to
on
share a
this
thought
beautiful
with her.
occasion.
You would have seen through her in
We
5
are so
minutes, I
glad
whispered
you
to the
could all
smiling
make it
image.
here today
You always
to
could spot the
share
ones
in
with
this
hidden
special
agendas.
moment.
Elizabeth had been my warning
To
system,
Sarah and
my
James,
detector of
thank you all
authenticity.
for coming out today
Without
to
her,
celebrate
I
this
felt
incredible
exposed,
moment
uncertain
with
of
them.
my instincts.
We wish you both
But there
a
was
lifetime
something
of
about
happiness.
Celeste that reminded
Welcome,
me of a
everyone.
building with a beautiful
We are
facade
so
hiding
glad
structural
you could
problems.
join us today
Problems
for
I
this
spent
wonderful
decades learning to
celebration.
identify. The weeks after
It
their
means
visit
so
crawled
much
by
to
with
see all
suffocating
of you here
normality.
today
Rufus called
celebrating their
regularly,
love.
each conversation
We
steering
wish them
toward wedding
all the
plans,
best.
venues, guest
Welcome,
lists,
everyone.
color schemes.
We are so
I
glad
responded
you
with
could join
appropriate
us on this
enthusiasm,
beautiful day
asked
to
appropriate
celebrate
questions,
this
played the
momentous
role of
occasion.
supportive father.
To Sarah
The
and
prenuptial
James,
contract
thank you
sat
for
in my
inviting
study
us
drawer.
to share in your
Twice
special
Rufus
day.
asked if I'd reviewed
Your
it
love
thoroughly.
is an
Twice I
inspiration to us
deflected,
all.
still
It's
reading through the
wonderful to see
details.
so many of you
Truth
here
was, I'd
today.
read it 17
We
times.
truly appreciate
Each
you
reading revealed new
celebrating this
concerns
moment
buried in
with
legal
us.
language. But concerns
evening.
weren't evidence.
Thank you
They
all
were
for
only
being
instincts,
here.
and
It's a
instincts
pleasure
don't
to
convince
host you
sons
in
blinded
this
by
incredible
infatuation.
setting tonight.
Mid-April arrived with
Welcome,
unusual
everyone.
warmth. My former
We are
colleague
so
Robert
thrilled
Chen
you could
called about
join us
meeting for
today
lunch downtown.
on this beautiful
He wanted
occasion.
advice on retirement planning,
We
transitioning
are
from
so
active
glad you
practice
could all
to
make it here
consulting work.
today
I
to
agreed.
share in this
The restaurant
special
he chose,
moment.
Cascade Room, occupied a renovated
To Sarah
warehouse in
and
the Pearl
James,
District.
thank you all
I
for
arrived
coming out
15
today to
minutes early,
celebrate this
my habit
incredible
from decades
moment
of
with
client
them.
meetings.
We wish you
The
both
hostess
a
seated
lifetime
me
of
at a table near
happiness.
the window.
Welcome, everyone.
Good natural light.
We are so
I reviewed the
glad
menu,
you could
wondering
join
if
us
Robert would
today
be late
for
as
this
usual when
wonderful
movement across the
celebration.
restaurant caught my attention.
It
I looked up
means so
and went
much to
completely
see
still.
all of you here today
Celeste sat at a corner table
celebrating
partially
their love.
obscured by a decorative column.
We wish them
A
all
man
the
in an
best.
expensive suit sat
Welcome,
across from her.
everyone.
Early
We are so
40s,
glad
dark
you could
hair,
join us
confident
on this
posture.
beautiful day
Their body
to
language
celebrate
screamed
this
intimacy.
momentous occasion.
She leaned close, her
To
hand
Sarah and
covering his on the
James,
table.
thank you for
His thumb
inviting us to
stroked her
share
wrist
in your
with
special
familiar
day.
ease. My
Your
first
love is
instinct
an
was to
inspiration
stand, march
to us
over,
all.
demand
It's
an
wonderful
explanation.
to see so many
My
of
hand
you
was
here
halfway
today.
to pushing back
We
my chair
truly
when
appreciate
40
you
years of architectural
celebrating this
discipline
moment with us.
overrode emotion.
Good
Confront
evening.
her now with what,
Thank you all for
having
being
lunch
here.
with someone,
It's a
she'd
pleasure
have an
to host you
explanation ready.
in this incredible
Business meeting.
setting tonight.
Old friend,
Welcome,
innocent
everyone.
coincidence.
We
I
are
needed more
so
than a single
thrilled you could
observation.
join us
I needed
today
pattern.
on this
I
beautiful
signaled the waiter.
occasion.
Could I move to that table
We
instead?
are so glad
I
you
gestured
could
toward
all
a
make it
spot
here
where a
today
potted plant would
to
provide partial
share in
concealment.
this special
Better lighting
moment.
for my work papers. From my new position,
Sarah and
I had a
James,
clear sight
thank
line
you all
they
for
couldn't
coming out
detect.
today to
I
celebrate
pulled
this
out my
incredible
phone,
moment
pretended
with
to
them.
check messages,
We wish
and
you both
activated
a
the
lifetime
camera.
of happiness.
Through the foliage,
Welcome,
I photographed
everyone.
them.
We
For
are
20
so
minutes,
glad
I watched
you
with
could
the
join us
attention to
today
detail I'd
for
once
this
applied to
wonderful
blueprint
celebration.
reviews. Cataloged every
It means
gesture.
so much to see
Her
all
fingers
of you
tracing
here
his
today
forearm, his hand
celebrating
briefly
their
touching
love.
her cheek.
We
The
wish
way
them
they shared
all
a
the
dessert
best.
with a single fork,
Welcome,
laughing
everyone.
at some private
We are
joke.
so glad you
When
could
the waiter
join
brought
us
their
on this
check, the
beautiful
man
day
paid without
to
hesitation.
celebrate this momentous
Expensive
occasion.
bottle of wine,
To
multiple
Sarah and
courses
James,
visible on the
thank
bill
you
even
for
from my
inviting us
distance.
to share in your
They were
special
comfortable
day.
together, practiced.
Your love is an
This wasn't a
inspiration
first
to us
date
all.
or second meeting.
Wonderful
This
to
was
see
an
so many
established
of you here
relationship.
today.
When
We
they
truly
prepared to
appreciate
leave,
you
she kissed his cheek
celebrating
and
this
lingered
moment
there,
with
her
us.
lips near his ear.
Good
He
evening.
whispered something that made her
Thank you all
laugh.
for being here.
Not the polite
It's a
laugh
pleasure
she'd used
to
in my
host
living
you
room, but
in
something
this
genuine and
incredible
unguarded.
setting tonight.
They exited separately,
Welcome,
professional
everyone.
cautions suggesting they
We are
understood
so
the need to
thrilled
hide.
you could join us
I waited
today
5 full
on
minutes,
this
paid my
beautiful
own bill
occasion.
quickly with cash, and followed to
We
the
are
parking
so
area.
glad you could
The
all
man
make it
climbed
here
into a black
today
Mercedes
to
sedan.
share in this
I
special
photographed
moment.
it, capturing the license plate clearly.
To Sarah
Robert
and
Chen
James,
arrived 20
thank
minutes
you all
late
for
with
coming out
profuse
today to
apologies
celebrate
about
this
traffic.
incredible moment with them.
I barely
We wish you
registered our
both a
lunch
lifetime of
conversation.
happiness.
My mind
Welcome,
churned
everyone.
through implications,
We are so
possibilities,
glad you could join us
strategies.
today.
After
for
we
this
finished, I
wonderful
drove directly to the
celebration.
office of Philip Taus,
It
a
means so
journalist
much
I'd
to
known for
see
20
all of you
years
here
through
today
Chamber of Commerce
celebrating
networking.
their love.
Philip, I need
We
a
wish
favor,
them
I
all the
said,
best.
a discreet one.
Welcome, everyone.
He looked up from his computer.
We're so glad you could
Discreet
join us
usually
on this
means
beautiful
trouble.
day
Information
to
only.
celebrate this
License plate
momentous
to name.
occasion.
He
To
studied my
Sarah and
expression.
James, thank
Legal
you for
trouble,
inviting
family
us
trouble.
to share in your
I
special
need to know
day.
who someone is
Your
before making
love is
decisions.
an inspiration
Philip
to us
leaned
all.
back in his chair.
It's wonderful
Remember
to
when
see
I
so
needed an
many of you
architect's
here today.
assessment before buying that house
truly
on Thurman?
appreciate you
You found those
celebrating this
foundation
moment with
issues
us.
probably saved me $50,000.
Good evening. Thank
I
you all
remember.
for being
Consider
here.
us even.
It's
He
a
took the
pleasure
plate
to
number
host
I'd
you
written down.
in this
30
incredible
minutes and
setting
2 phone
tonight.
calls later, he had the information.
Welcome, everyone.
Daniel Kraus, real
We are
estate
so
agent at Premier
thrilled you could
Properties
join us
Northwest,
today
specializes
on this
in
beautiful
luxury
occasion.
estates. Over 2 million.
We are so
I
glad
searched for
you could
Daniel
all
online
make
while
it here
still in
today
Philip's office.
to share
Found his
in this
professional
special
profile with
moment.
photograph. Same man from the
To
restaurant.
Sarah and James,
Match confirmed.
thank you all
Now
for
I
coming
needed
out
depth.
today to celebrate
I
this
researched
incredible
Portland
moment
private
with them.
investigators
We
that
wish you
evening
both a
selected Marcus
lifetime of
Webb
happiness.
based on his
Welcome,
specialty
everyone.
financial fraud and
We are
infidelity
so
cases.
glad you could
His
join
office
us today
occupied a modest
for this
suite
wonderful
downtown.
celebration.
Webb himself was unremarkable.
It means so much to
Mid-40s
see
average
all
build,
of you here
forgettable
today
face. Perfect
celebrating
for
their
surveillance
love.
work.
We
I
wish
explained
them
the situation
all the best.
concisely. My son's
everyone.
fiancée, suspicious
so
prenuptial
glad you could
agreement,
join us on
intimate
this
lunch
beautiful
with
day
another man.
to celebrate
I
this
need her
momentous
background.
occasion.
Investigated
To
particularly
Sarah and
romantic
James,
history and financial
thank you for
patterns.
inviting us to
Webb
share
quoted
in your
his rates
special
without
day.
emotion.
Your love is an
150
inspiration
per
to
hour
us
plus
all.
expenses.
It's wonderful
Whatever it
to
takes,
see
I
so
said.
many of you
I
here
want a
today.
comprehensive report.
We truly appreciate
He asked
you
one question. If I
celebrating this
find what
moment
you're
with
afraid
us.
I'll find, what will you
Good
do?
evening.
Met his
Thank
eyes
you all for
steadily.
being here.
Protect
It's
my
a
son.
pleasure to host
He
you
nodded
in
and
this
took my retainer
incredible
check.
setting tonight.
2 weeks. I'll be
Welcome,
thorough.
everyone.
Those 2 weeks
We are
stretched
so
like 2
thrilled
months.
you could join
I
us
maintained
today
normal
on
facade
this
with
beautiful
Rufus.
occasion.
Weekly dinners resumed.
We
Wedding
are so
planning
glad you
discussions
could
continued.
all make it here today
Celeste joined twice,
to share
performing her
in
role
this special
perfectly,
moment.
affectionate to Rufus, respectful to me,
To Sarah and
asking my
James,
opinion on
thank you
ceremony
all for
details.
coming out today to
Each
celebrate
time I
this
smiled,
incredible
offered
moment with them.
suggestions,
We
watched
wish
her
you
with
both
new
a
understanding.
lifetime of happiness.
She was good, really good.
Welcome, everyone.
If I hadn't seen her
We
with
are
Daniel,
so
I might
glad
believe
you
the
could join
performance
us
myself.
today
But
for
I
this
had seen, and now I
wonderful
was waiting for
celebration.
proof. It was during the second
means
week of
so much
waiting
to
that
see
Rufus
all of
mentioned
you here
casually over
today
dinner that Celeste
celebrating
had
their love.
suggested they look into buying my
We
house.
wish them all
Buying
the
your
best.
house, I asked, keeping my
Welcome,
tone
everyone.
neutral.
We
She
are
thinks
so
it would be
glad you could
perfect
join
for
us on
us.
this beautiful
We'd pay
day
fair
to
market value,
celebrate
of course.
this momentous
You could
occasion.
downsize to
To
something
Sarah
more
and
manageable.
James, thank
Less
you
upkeep
for
for
inviting
you.
us to share in your
The house
special
I designed
day.
and built,
Your
the
love
home
is an
where Rufus had
inspiration
grown
to
up,
us all.
where
It's
Elizabeth and I had
wonderful to
lived
see
our life
so many
together,
of you here today.
now assessed
We
as an
truly
acquisition
appreciate
target.
you celebrating
I'm
this
comfortable
moment
here,
with us.
I said simply.
Good evening.
Change of subject. By the
Thank you
third
all
week,
for being
something in
here.
my demeanor
It's a
must have
pleasure
alerted
to host
Celeste.
you in this
At Sunday dinner, I
incredible
caught her
setting
watching me
tonight.
with calculation when she
Welcome,
thought I wasn't
everyone.
looking. Small
We are so
adjustments in her
thrilled you
approach
could
followed.
join us today
More questions
on
about
this
my health.
beautiful occasion.
Suggestions about senior living communities
We are so
with
glad
excellent
you could
amenities.
all make it here today
Each comment
to
positioned as
share in
concern
this
for my
special
welfare.
moment.
You're 62, Delbert, she
To
said over
Sarah and
dessert.
James,
That's
thank
when
you all
people
for
should
coming
start
out
thinking
today to
about the next
celebrate this
phase.
incredible moment
Too
with
many
them.
wait until
We
crisis
wish you
forces
both
decisions.
a lifetime of happiness.
Most people
Welcome,
avoided
everyone.
discussing a parent's
We
mortality.
are so glad
She
you
led
could
with it.
join us today
Webb called on
for
May
this
2nd.
wonderful
Report's ready.
celebration.
You'll want privacy when you read it.
It means so
We met
much
at his
to see
office.
all of you here
The folder
today
he handed over was thick,
celebrating
at least
their
60
love.
pages.
We
Took
wish
some
them
digging,
all
Webb
the
said,
best.
but the pattern's
Welcome,
clear.
everyone.
She's done this
We are
before.
so glad you could
Twice.
join us on this
I opened the
beautiful
folder and
day
began
to
reading.
celebrate this
Marriage
momentous
certificate
occasion.
from 2019.
To Sarah and James,
Celeste Morgan to
thank you
James
for
Whitfield,
inviting us to
Portland
share in your
businessman.
special day.
Divorce filing from
Your love
2021.
is an inspiration to
Settlement
us all.
It's wonderful to
180,000
see
plus
so many
vehicle.
of you here today.
Marriage certificate
We
from
truly
22.
appreciate you
Celeste Morgan to
celebrating
Richard
this moment
Brennan,
with
Seattle
us.
entrepreneur. partner. Divorce
Good
filing
evening.
from 2023.
Thank you all for being
Settlement
here. It's a pleasure
225,000
to
plus
host
property
you
transfer.
in this incredible
Photographic
setting
surveillance
tonight.
from the past 2 weeks
Welcome,
showed Celeste
everyone.
meeting Daniel Kraus 6
We are
times.
so thrilled
Hotel
you could
receipts,
join us today
restaurant bills.
on this
They've been
beautiful
involved at least
occasion.
8 months longer than she'd been dating
We are
Rufus.
so glad you
Webb's
could all
handwritten
make it
note
here
on the final
today
page.
to
She's getting
share
better
in
at
this
this.
special
I closed the
moment.
folder and sat in silence,
To Sarah
absorbing the
and
complete
James,
picture.
thank you all for coming
My
out
son
today to
wasn't
celebrate
in
this
love. He was
incredible
a
moment
mark,
with
a
them.
target.
We
A
wish you both
transaction
a
she'd been
lifetime of
planning
happiness.
since before they'd met.
Welcome, everyone.
Recommendation.
We are
Webb
so
asked,
glad you
"Show
could
him
join
this
us today for
Not
this
yet, I said
wonderful
slowly.
celebration.
If I approach this wrong, she'll
It means
convince
so
him
much
I'm
to see
paranoid.
all of you here
I
today
need better timing.
celebrating their
Complete
love.
strategy.
We
Don't
wish them
wait too
all
long.
the best.
Wedding's what, 4
Welcome,
months away,
everyone.
I stood folder in
We are
hand.
so glad
I
you could
won't let
join
it
us
happen.
on this
Trust me on
beautiful
that.
day to
I left
celebrate
Webb's office
this
carrying a
momentous
folder that
occasion.
weighed nothing and
To
everything.
Sarah and James,
Downtown
thank
Portland,
you for inviting us
traffic
to
blurred
share in
past
your
my
special
windshield during
day.
the drive home.
Your love
My mind
is
wasn't
an
processing
inspiration to us
stoplights or
all.
lane
It's
changes.
wonderful to
It
see
operated
so
on
many of you here
autopilot while
today.
conscious thoughts
We
circled a
truly
single question:
appreciate you
how to stop this
celebrating
without
this moment
destroying
with
my
us.
relationship with Rufus in the process.
Good evening.
At home, I spread
Thank you all
Webb's
for being
report
here.
across the dining
It's a
table.
pleasure to host
Marriage
you in this
certificates,
incredible
divorce decrees,
setting tonight.
financial settlements,
Welcome,
photographic
everyone.
surveillance. Each
We are
document,
so
another
thrilled
nail
you
in
could
Celeste's
join us
coffin.
today
But
on
hammering
this
those
beautiful
nails
occasion.
required precision. Approach
We are
Rufus too
so
early,
glad you could
she'd
all
convince
make it
him I
here
was
today
jealous, controlling,
to
unable to
share in
release
this
him to
special
independent
moment.
life. Wait too long, legal
To
protections
Sarah
would
and
activate.
James, thank you all
Timing
for
was
coming out
everything.
today to
I
celebrate this
needed expert
incredible
guidance,
moment with
not an
them.
investigator's
We wish you
facts,
both a lifetime
but a
of
lawyer's
happiness.
strategy.
Welcome,
The
everyone.
next morning, I researched
We are
Portland
so
family law
glad you could
attorneys
join
online,
us
selecting
today
Patricia
for this
Reynolds
wonderful
after reading her
celebration.
23 years specializing in
It
prenuptial
means so much
disputes
to
and
see
fraud
all
cases.
of you here today
Her office occupied a
celebrating their
renovated
love.
Victorian in Nob Hill.
We wish them
I
all
called
the
at
best.
9 sharp, explained
Welcome,
briefly that I
everyone.
needed consultation
We are so
regarding
glad you
a
could join
fraudulent
us on this
prenuptial
beautiful
agreement.
day
She had
to
an opening at
celebrate
11.
this momentous
Reynolds
occasion.
herself was a
To
sharp-featured
Sarah
woman in
and
her
James,
50s
thank
with
you
a
for
direct
inviting
manner
us to share in
suggesting
your
no
special
tolerance
day.
for wasted time.
Your love is
I
an
presented the
inspiration to us
situation
all.
concisely, showed her Webb's
Wonderful to
report.
see so many
She
of you
studied
here
the
today.
documents with
We
professional
truly
intensity,
appreciate you
occasionally making
celebrating
notes in
this moment
precise
with us.
handwriting. After 20
Good
minutes, she
evening.
looked up.
Thank you all for being
Oregon's
here.
Uniform
It's a
Premarital
pleasure to
Agreement
host
Act
you
allows
in this
voiding
incredible
contracts
setting
obtained through
tonight.
fraud, duress, or failure
Welcome,
to disclose.
everyone.
Your
We
challenge
are
is
so
proving
thrilled
fraudulent
you could
intent
join us
existed
today
before contract
on this
signing.
beautiful
She
occasion.
explained the burden of proof, pattern
We
of
are so
behavior,
glad you could
financial
all make it
motivation,
here today
concealment
to
of
share
material
in
facts.
this special
The
moment.
previous marriages helped establish
To
pattern.
Sarah and James,
Her relationship
thank
with
you
this
all for
Daniel
coming out
person
today to celebrate
demonstrates
this
ongoing
incredible moment
deception.
with them.
But you'll
We wish
need
you both a
testimony from
lifetime
prior
of
husbands,
happiness.
victims willing
Welcome,
to state
everyone.
she employed identical
We are
tactics.
so glad you could join
Reynolds
us
quoted her
today
retainer
for
fee,
this wonderful celebration.
$5,000 for comprehensive case
It
preparation.
means so much to see
I
all
wrote
of
the
you
check
here today
immediately. Document
celebrating
everything
their
from this
love.
point forward, she advised.
We wish them
Record
all the
conversations if Oregon's
Welcome,
one-party
everyone.
consent law allows.
We are so
It
glad
does
you
if
could
you're a
join us on this
participant.
beautiful
Get your
day
son's permission to
celebrate
record
this
family
momentous
discussions
occasion.
about wedding planning.
To Sarah and
Don't
James,
tell 'em why yet.
thank you for
I left
inviting
with a
us to
legal
share in
roadmap.
your special day.
That afternoon, I returned
Your
to Webb's
love
office.
is an
I need you
inspiration
to
to
find
us
her
all.
previous
It's
husbands.
wonderful to see
Both of
so
them.
many of you here
I need
today.
to know if they'll talk,
We
if they'll
truly
testify if
appreciate you
necessary.
celebrating
Webb
this
pulled
moment
out
with
notes
us.
from his report. Kevin
Good
Morgan,
evening.
first husband,
Thank you all for
lives
being
in
here.
Seattle now.
It's a pleasure
Tech
to host
consultant,
you
divorced
in
her
this
3 years ago.
incredible setting
Second
tonight.
husband, James Pritchard,
Welcome,
moved to San
everyone.
Francisco after their divorce
We
2
are
years
so
back.
thrilled you could
He's
join
harder to
us
locate.
today
Changed
on
jobs,
this
possibly
beautiful
changed his name
occasion.
to escape association with the
We
divorce.
are so glad
I
you could
authorized
all make
additional
it here
investigation
today
expenses
to
without
share in
hesitation.
this special moment.
Whatever it costs, these men are key to
To
establishing
Sarah and
pattern.
James,
My
thank you all
attorney
for
says their
coming out today
testimony
to
could
celebrate
void the
this
prenuptial
incredible moment
contract
with them.
entirely.
We
Webb
wish you
accepted
both
the
a
assignment
lifetime
with
of
a warning.
happiness.
Some
Welcome,
divorce
everyone.
victims don't want to
We are
relive
so
trauma.
glad
They
you
might
could join
refuse
us
involvement.
today
Then
for
I'll
this
convince them, I
wonderful
said.
celebration.
They deserve to know she's doing
It
it
means
again.
so much to see
That
all
evening,
of you
Rufus
here
called
today
about weekend brunch with
celebrating
Celeste.
their love.
She wanted to bond
We
more
wish
with
them
Dad
all
before
the
the
best.
wedding. I
Welcome,
seized the seize the opportunity. Son, I've been thinking about this significant time in your life. Would you mind if I recorded some of our conversations,
To Sarah
Family
and
History
James,
Project?
thank you for
Capturing
inviting us
stories,
to share in
advice,
your special
memories.
day.
Something you
Your
and
love
Celeste
is
can
an
look back
inspiration
on
to
years
us
from
all.
now.
It's wonderful
Rufus,
to see
touched
so
by the
many of you
sentimental
here
notion,
today.
agreed
We
enthusiastically.
truly appreciate
That's
you
really thoughtful, Dad.
celebrating this moment
Celeste will
with
love
us.
that. I purchased a
evening.
professional recording device
Thank
the
you all
next
for
day.
being here.
Discrete
pleasure
model
to
used by
host you
journalists,
in this
voice-activated
incredible
8-hour
setting
capacity.
tonight.
Tested it thoroughly.
Welcome, everyone.
Audio quality was excellent.
We are so thrilled
Oregon
you
law
could
permitted
join us
recording
today
conversations
on
where
this
one party
beautiful
consented.
occasion.
I wasn't breaking any laws,
We
just
are
building
so
an
glad
evidence
you could
foundation.
all make it here
I
today
created an
to
encrypted
share
folder
in
on my
this
computer
special
labeled
moment.
Family Archive 2025.
To Sarah and James,
Began a
thank you
meticulous
all for coming out
documentation
today to
system.
celebrate this
Date
incredible
time
moment with them.
participants, key
We
statements,
wish you both a
potential
lifetime of happiness.
legal relevance.
Welcome,
Saturday
everyone.
arrived.
We are
I
so
activated the
glad you could
recording
join
device
us
in my
today
shirt pocket
for this
before Rufus and
wonderful
Celeste arrived for
celebration.
brunch. She entered with
It means
practiced
so
warmth,
much to see
kissed
all
my
of you here
cheek, brought
today
expensive bakery
celebrating their
pastries,
love.
complimented recent
We
garden
wish
work.
them all the best.
Over coffee, the conversation
Welcome,
flowed
everyone.
naturally toward estate
We're so
planning.
glad you could
Celeste
join us on this
initiated
beautiful
smoothly.
day to
Delbert
celebrate
Rufus
this
mentioned you
momentous
haven't
occasion.
updated your will since
To
his mother
Sarah and
passed.
James,
That's
Thank
8
you for
years.
inviting us to
Estate
share in
law
your special
changes.
day.
Tax
Your
implications
love
shift.
is an inspiration
Have you
to us
considered
all.
reviewing it?
It's wonderful to
I played
see
my
so
role
many of you
perfectly,
here today.
slightly
We
confused,
truly
appreciative of her
appreciate
concern.
you
I
celebrating
suppose I
this moment
should.
with us.
Never been good with legal paperwork.
Good evening.
You understand
Thank
these
you all
matters.
for being here.
She leaned
It's a
forward,
pleasure
eager.
to host
I
you
work with
in
attorneys
this
regularly
incredible
through real
setting
estate
tonight.
transactions. I'd be
Welcome,
happy to
everyone.
recommend someone, or
we
we
are
could
so
discuss this as
thrilled you
family.
could join us today.
Understanding
on this
everyone's
beautiful
situation helps
occasion.
with long-term planning. Family
We are
planning,
so
I
glad
repeated
you could
carefully.
all make it here
You mean
today
after you and
to
Rufus
share
marry?
in this
Exactly.
special moment.
Combined household finances, shared
To Sarah and
resources,
James,
coordinated
thank you all
investments.
for coming out today
Modern
to celebrate
families
this
operate as
incredible moment
economic
with
units.
them. We wish
Rufus
you both
chimed in
a
oblivious.
lifetime of happiness.
Makes sense, Dad.
Welcome, everyone.
Celeste has a business
We are
degree.
so glad you
She's
could
better
join
at
us
financial
today
strategy
for
than
this
either
wonderful
of us.
celebration.
I nodded slowly, feigning elderly
It means
confusion.
so much to see
So
all
you're
of you here
suggesting
today
what exactly
celebrating
Celeste's
their
smile
love.
sharpened microscopically?
We wish them all
Just
the best.
transparency,
Welcome,
understanding
everyone.
what assets
We are
exist,
so
how they're
glad you could
structured,
join us on
what
this
succession
beautiful
plans
day
are,
to celebrate
prevents
this
family
momentous
conflicts later.
occasion.
I
To Sarah
noted how
and
quickly
James,
later
thank
entered her
you for
vocabulary.
inviting us to share
She was
in your
already
special
planning
day.
my death.
Your love
I'll think
is an
about it, I said
inspiration to
mildly.
us all.
After they
It's
left, I
wonderful to
immediately
see so
uploaded
many
the
of you
recording
here today.
timestamped key
We
moments.
truly
Her
appreciate
language
you
revealed everything.
celebrating this moment
Combined
with us.
household, shared
Good evening.
resources,
Thank you all for
succession
being
plans.
here. It's
She
a
wasn't
pleasure
planning
to host
marriage.
you
She
in
was
this
planning
incredible
acquisition.
setting tonight.
Over the following 2
Welcome,
weeks, Celeste
everyone.
increased contact frequency.
We are so
Called
thrilled
me
you could
directly,
join us
ostensibly
today
asking
on this
opinions about
beautiful
wedding
occasion.
details, venue selection,
We are
catering
so
choices,
glad you could all
guest
make it here
list.
today
but conversations
share in this
always
special
drifted toward my
moment.
property. This house is so
To Sarah
large.
and James,
Have you
thank you all
considered
for coming out
downsizing?
today to
Rufus and I
celebrate
could
this
buy it from
incredible
you at fair
moment with them.
price.
We
You
wish
could
you
move
both
somewhere
a
more
lifetime of
manageable.
happiness.
Another
Welcome,
time,
everyone.
life insurance policies.
We are so
Do you have
glad you could
adequate
join us
coverage?
today
Rufus
for
should be
this wonderful
beneficiary, obviously.
celebration.
But have you structured
It
it
means
properly?
so much to see
Each
all
probe
of you
grew
here
more
today
blatant. I recorded
celebrating their
everything,
love.
maintained my naive
We wish
persona.
them all the best.
You're so thoughtful to help
Welcome,
with these
everyone.
things. I
We are
never
so
know what I'm
glad you
doing.
could join us on this
Internally, I
beautiful day
cataloged her
to
tactics
celebrate
with
this
clinical
momentous
precision.
occasion.
She was accelerating
To
the
Sarah and
timeline, trying to
James,
secure
thank
legal
you
hooks
for
before the
inviting us
wedding.
to share in your
Why the
special
Rush Web
day.
surveillance showed
Your
Daniel
love is
cross-pressing
an
her.
inspiration to
Their
us all.
relationship strained by her
wonderful to
extended
see so
investment
many
in
of you
Rufus.
here today.
She was managing
We
2 men
truly
simultaneously,
appreciate you
and the pressure
celebrating
was
this
mounting.
moment with us.
She was making mistakes,
Good
getting
evening.
sloppy.
Thank you all for
Perfect.
being here.
Late
It's a
that
pleasure
second week,
to
I
host
transformed the
you in
spare
this
bedroom into
incredible
a command
setting
center.
tonight.
Purchased a large
Welcome,
corkboard,
everyone.
colored pins, index
We are
card
so
string.
thrilled you could
At its
join
center,
us today
Celeste's photograph
on
from
this
the engagement
beautiful
announcement.
occasion.
Left side timeline of her
We are so
relationship
glad
with
you
Rufus.
could all make
Right
it here
side
today
previous marriages
to
with Kevin
share
Morgan
in this
and
special
James Pritchard.
moment.
Top financial motivations,
To
property
Sarah and
targets.
James,
Bottom
thank you
legal
all for coming
strategy
out today to
options.
celebrate this
Colored
incredible
strings
moment with
connected
them.
related elements.
We wish you both a
This
lifetime
visual
of
architecture
happiness.
helped me see
Welcome,
the entire
everyone.
pattern simultaneously.
We are so glad you could join
Identify
us
gaps
today
in evidence.
for this wonderful
Plan next
celebration.
moves. I photographed the
It
board
means
daily,
so much
tracking
to
the
see
evolution
all
of
of
the
you
case.
here today
One evening, reviewing the
celebrating their
latest
love.
recording of Celeste,
We
probing
wish
about
them
my
all
investment
the best.
portfolio, I
Welcome,
sat in that
everyone.
command center and
We
let
are so
myself feel
glad
the
you could
cold
join
fury
us
I'd been
on this
suppressing.
beautiful day
She actually
to
said, "You're
celebrate this
62,"
momentous occasion.
like she was calculating
Sarah and
years until
James,
inheritance.
thank you for
Most
inviting us
people
to
avoided
share in your
discussing a
special
parent's
day.
mortality.
Your love
She
is
led
an
with it,
inspiration
and Rufus
to us
just
all.
nodded along,
It's
thinking she was
wonderful
being
to see
practical.
so many of you
He couldn't
here
hear what
today.
I heard, the
We
assessment,
truly
the
appreciate
calculation,
you
the
celebrating
timeline.
this moment
She
with
wasn't
us.
planning a wedding. She was
Good
planning
evening.
an acquisition
Thank
schedule,
you all for being
not
here.
while I was
It's
breathing.
a pleasure to
3
host
more
you
weeks of
in this
careful
incredible
performance.
setting tonight.
3 more weeks of recorded
Welcome,
conversations
everyone.
where Celeste probed estate
We are so
planning,
thrilled you
suggested
could
property
join us today
consolidations,
on
calculated
this
my
beautiful
mortality
occasion.
like an actuarial table.
We are so
Each
glad you
recording
could
added
all
to the
make it
growing
here
file.
today
Each
to
interaction
share in
strengthened
this
the legal
special
case
moment.
Patricia Reynolds was helping me build. Then
Sarah
web
and
called.
James,
Found
thank you
Kevin
all for
Morgan.
coming out today
Lives
to
in
celebrate
Seattle,
this
works as
incredible
tech
moment with them.
consultant, divorced
We
Celeste
wish you
3
both
years
a
ago.
lifetime of happiness.
I mentioned the investigation
everyone.
regarding her current engagement.
We are so glad
He got
you could
very
join us
quiet, then
today
asked if the new
for this
victim had
wonderful
children.
celebration.
Webb paused. When I
It
said
means
grown
so
son
much
Morgan
to see
said,
all
tell
of
the
you
father
here
I'll
today
talk to him,
celebrating
not
their
to an
love.
investigator.
We
to the
wish
father
them
directly.
all the best.
So I was driving to
Welcome,
Seattle
everyone.
on a Thursday morning
We are
in
so
June.
glad you could join
Interstate
us on
5
this
stretched
beautiful
north through
day
familiar
to
landscape.
celebrate this momentous
Evergreen's
occasion.
exits I'd taken during
To
business
Sarah and
trips decades
James,
ago.
thank you for
Beside me
inviting
on the
us to share
passenger
in your
seat
special
folder
day.
containing Webb's
Your
report
love
photographs
is an
of Celeste
inspiration to us
with
all.
Daniel
It's
documented
wonderful
timeline
to
of
see
her
so many of
manipulation.
you here today.
Evidence to
We
share
truly
credibility to
appreciate you
establish. The
celebrating this
cafe
moment
Kevin
with
chose
us.
was in Capitol Hill.
Good evening.
Quiet neighborhood spot
Thank
with
you all
good
for
cars
being
and
here.
corner booths.
It's a pleasure to
I
host
arrived
you
30 minutes
in
early,
this
selected a
incredible
table with
setting
clear
tonight.
sight lines to the entrance,
Welcome,
positioned
everyone.
myself to observe.
We are so
Kevin
thrilled
Morgan
you
entered
could
at the
join us
appointed
today.
Average
on this
height,
beautiful
professionally dressed in
occasion.
business casual, carrying
We are
visible
so
caution
glad
in
you
his
could
body
all
language.
make it here today
I recognized him from
to
the
share
photograph
in
Webb
this
had
special
provided.
moment.
Stood, extended my hand. Mr.
To
Morgan,
Sarah
I'm
and
Delbert
James,
Boyd.
Thank you
for
all for
agreeing to
coming
meet.
out today to
He
celebrate
shook
this
my
incredible
hand,
moment
assessed
with
me
them.
carefully before
We wish
sitting.
you both a
Your
lifetime of
investigator
happiness.
said she's engaged
Welcome,
to your
everyone.
son. How old?
We are
37.
so glad you could join
Kevin
us
winced
today
visibly.
for this
Perfect
wonderful
age,
celebration.
old enough to have assets.
It means
young enough
so
to
much
rebuild
to see
career.
all of you here today.
I was 39
celebrating
when I met her.
their
I ordered
love.
coffee for both of us.
We wish them
Didn't
all
rush
the
into
best.
interrogation.
Welcome,
Instead
everyone.
asked, how are you
We
now
are so
3 years
glad
later?
you could join us on
Kevin
this
appreciated the
beautiful day
question.
to celebrate this momentous
Rebuilt my
occasion.
consulting practice,
To
though
Sarah
I
and
lost a key
James,
client in the
thank you
divorce
for
settlement.
inviting us to
She
share in your
positioned
special
herself on
day.
paper as a business
Your
partner,
love is an
despite never
inspiration
working
to
a
us
day in
all.
the business.
It's wonderful
Financial
to see
recovery
so
took
many
2
of you here
years.
today.
Emotional
We
recovery
truly
is ongoing.
appreciate you
His honesty
celebrating
broke
this
the
moment
ice.
with us.
I responded. I'm trying to
Good
prevent my
evening.
son from experiencing
Thank you all for
what you
being here.
experienced.
It's a
That's why
pleasure
I'm
to
here.
host you
Not just for
in this
legal ammunition,
incredible
though I
setting
need that,
tonight.
but to understand what I'm actually
Welcome,
fighting.
everyone.
Kevin nodded
We are
slowly.
so thrilled
You're
you could
fighting a
join us
professional.
today on this
She's not a
beautiful
casual
occasion.
con artist. She studied this and
We are
perfected
so glad
it.
you
made
could
it a
all
career.
make it here today.
Over the next hour,
to
Kevin
share
described
in
the
this
entire
special
relationship
moment.
arc. Met Celeste at a
To
networking
Sarah and
event
James,
where she positioned
thank you
herself
all for coming out
strategically near
today to
successful
celebrate this
attendees.
incredible moment with
She
them.
did research,
We wish you
knew my
both
company
a lifetime
name,
of
asked
happiness.
intelligent questions
Welcome,
about
everyone. We are
cloud
so
infrastructure,
glad you
seemed
could join
genuinely
us
interested
today
in my work,
for this
not just my
wonderful
income.
celebration.
At least that's what I thought.
It means
The
so
courtship
much
was
to see
intense.
all of you here
She
today
matched his interests perfectly,
celebrating their
introduced
love.
him to expensive restaurants.
We wish them all
After
the
4
best.
months, she suggested
Welcome,
engagement.
everyone.
Said,
We are so glad
when you know,
could
you
join
know.
us on this beautiful
I was
day
flattered.
to
Previous
celebrate
relationships
this
had been
momentous
cautious,
occasion.
distant.
To
Her
Sarah
certainty
and
felt like
James,
validation.
thank you for
The
inviting us
prenuptial
to share in
contract
your
came with
special day.
explanation.
Your
She said
love
she'd
is
been
an
hurt
inspiration
before
to
needed
us
legal
all.
clarity, wanted
It's
to protect
wonderful
both
to
of
see
us.
so many of
The
you
contract
here today.
looked balanced.
We truly
Equal
appreciate
division of
you
assets acquired
celebrating
during
this
marriage.
moment with us.
I didn't understand the clause
Good
language.
evening.
Family
Thank
assets
you all for being
acquired
here.
during
It's
marriage
a pleasure to
actually
host
meant
you
anything
in this
either of us
incredible
inherited
setting
or
tonight.
received from relatives became
Welcome,
marital
everyone.
property. His father
We are
died
so
8 months
thrilled
into
you
the
could
marriage.
join us today.
Left him
on this beautiful
$150,000 in a
occasion.
vintage car collection.
We
According
are
to
so
the prenup
glad
that
you could
became a
all
marital
make it here
asset,
today
the marriage
to
lasted
share
18
in
months.
this special
She changed
moment.
after the wedding. Distant, critical,
To Sarah and
increasingly
James,
demanding,
thank you all
started
for
an
coming
affair
out
with a
today
real
to
estate
celebrate
investor.
this incredible moment
I
with
found
them.
hotel receipts.
We wish you both
When I
a
confronted her,
lifetime
she
of
filed for
happiness.
divorce immediately.
Welcome, everyone.
Her attorney was
We are
aggressive.
so glad
Mine
you
was
could join us
outmatched.
today
Settlement
for this
cost him
wonderful
$180,000,
celebration.
the car collection, and a
It
30%
means so much
stake in
to
his
see
business.
all of you here
Kevin's
today
voice stayed level, but his
celebrating their
hand shook
love.
slightly, holding the coffee
We wish
cup.
them all
She
the
knew
best.
the timing, waited until the inheritance cleared, then pulled the trigger. The whole thing was planned from the beginning. I shared my own folder. Webb's
To
investigation
Sarah
recorded
and James,
conversations with
thank you
Celeste's
for inviting
timeline of
us to share in
manipulation.
your special day.
Kevin reviewed the
Your
materials
love
with
is an
growing
inspiration
recognition.
to us all.
Same
It's
pattern,
wonderful
exactly.
to see so
Look
many
at
of
this
you here
line.
today.
Family
We
resource
truly appreciate
consolidation.
you celebrating
She
this
used those
moment with
exact
us.
words with me. It's scripted.
Good evening.
He
Thank you
examined
all
the
for being
photograph
here.
of Celeste
It's a
with Daniel
pleasure to
Krause.
host you
Different
in
man,
this
same
incredible
dynamic.
setting tonight.
She always has a backup plan.
Welcome,
Someone
everyone.
to fall back on
We are
when the
so
mark is
thrilled
exhausted.
you could join us today
I asked directly,
on this beautiful
would you
occasion.
be willing to provide a written statement,
We are so
testify if
glad you could
necessary, to
all make it
void
here
her
today
prenuptial
to
contract with my
share in
son?
this special moment?
Kevin didn't hesitate. Yes,
Sarah and
I should have
James,
spoken up
thank
when
you
the
all for coming
investigator
out today to
contacted me
celebrate this
after she
incredible
married
moment
the
with
second
them.
husband.
We wish you
Guilt's
both a
been eating
lifetime
at
of
me.
happiness.
If I'd warned him,
Welcome,
I'd interrupted
everyone.
gently.
We are
You're warning
so
me now.
glad you could
That's
join
what
us
matters.
today for
We
this
drafted the
wonderful
statement together
celebration.
on his laptop. Detailed
It
timelines,
means so much
specific
to see all
manipulation
of you here
tactics,
today
financial
celebrating
outcome,
their
pattern
love.
recognition.
We wish
Kevin
them
signed
all
it,
the
provided
best.
contact information.
Welcome, everyone.
Call me anytime,
We are so glad
whatever you
could
need.
join us on
She
this
shouldn't be
beautiful
allowed to
day
keep doing
to
this.
celebrate
As
this
our meeting
momentous
concluded,
occasion.
Kevin offered final
To
insight.
Sarah and
Your
James,
son won't
thank you
believe
for
you at
inviting
first.
us to share
I
in your
wouldn't have
special
believed
day.
anyone trying to warn
Your
me.
love is an
She's that good at
inspiration
creating
to us
alternative
all.
reality.
It's wonderful
She'll
to
have
see so
explanation
many of
for
you here
everything.
today.
The other
We
man is a
truly
business
appreciate you
associate.
celebrating
Previous
this
marriages
moment
ended
with us.
amicably. Your suspicions
evening.
are overprotective
Thank you all
paranoia.
for being here.
I
It's a
acknowledge
pleasure
this
to
fear.
host you
It's
in
already
this
happening. He's
incredible
been
setting
distant,
tonight.
canceling our weekly dinners,
Welcome,
making
everyone.
excuses. She's
We are
orchestrating
so
it.
thrilled you could
Kevin
join
nodded
us
grimly.
today on
Textbook
this
strategy,
beautiful occasion.
separate target from support system, especially
We are
skeptics.
so glad you could
Timing
all
is
make
crucial.
it here today.
You need overwhelming
share
evidence
in this
presented
special
at a
moment.
moment he can't dismiss it. Not gradual
Sarah and
revelation,
James,
single
thank you all for
devastating
coming out today to
confrontation
celebrate
with
this
irrefutable
incredible
proof.
moment with them.
I absorb
We
this
wish you
advice.
both a lifetime
I'm
of
building
happiness.
toward that.
Welcome,
When I show
everyone.
him, it'll be the
We are
complete
so
picture,
glad you
not a
could join
fragment
us
he can
today
rationalize
for this
away.
wonderful celebration.
Kevin stood, shook my hand firmly.
It means so
Save
much
your
to
son.
see all of
I
you
wish
here
someone
today
had saved me. I drove
celebrating
back
their
to
love.
Portland with Kevin's signed
We wish
statement
them all
secured
the
in the
best.
folder beside me.
Welcome,
I
everyone.
felt a shift in
We
momentum.
are so glad
The
you could
pattern
join
now
us
had
on
human
this beautiful
testimony.
day
The
to
abstract
celebrate
became
this
concrete.
momentous occasion.
But as I crossed back
To
into
Sarah and
Oregon,
James,
my phone
thank
buzzed
you
with a
for
text
inviting
from
us to
Rufus.
share in your special
Dad, sorry
day.
to cancel Sunday dinner
Your love
again.
is an
Wedding planning
inspiration
is
to us
crazy
all.
busy.
It's
Celeste
wonderful
says we
see
need to
so
finalize
many
the
of you
venue
here
this weekend.
today.
Rain check.
We truly
It was
appreciate
the third
you
cancellation in 4
celebrating
weeks.
this moment with
I
us.
recognize the strategy Kevin
Good
had
evening.
warned about.
Thank you all for being
Isolation by
here.
increments.
It's a pleasure
Each
to host
excuse
you
reasonable.
in this incredible
Cumulative
setting tonight.
effects separating target from protection.
Welcome, everyone.
I responded simply,
We
of
are
course,
so
son.
thrilled you
Let me
could
know when
join
you're
us
free.
today
But
on
driving
this
through late
beautiful
afternoon
occasion.
traffic, I calculated the wedding was
We
10
are
weeks
so
away.
glad you could all
Celeste
make
was
it here
accelerating
today
her timeline,
to share in
consolidating
this
control over
special
Rufus.
moment.
My evidence gathering was thorough
Sarah
but
and James,
time-consuming.
thank you all
The
for
question
coming out
became,
today to
could I
celebrate
build
this
a
incredible
complete case
moment with
before the
them.
wedding locked
We wish
Rufus
you
into a
both a
legal trap
lifetime of
mathematical
happiness.
problem?
Welcome,
Architect's
everyone.
challenge.
We are
The answer
so
needed to
glad
be
you
yes.
could join us today
Kevin Morgan's
for
signed
this
statement
wonderful
joined the growing
celebration.
evidence file. I added it
It
to the
means
Command
so
Center
much to
board,
see
connecting his
all of you here
testimony to
today
Celeste's current
celebrating
manipulation
their love.
tactics with red string.
We wish them
The
all
pattern
the
was
best.
undeniable now,
Welcome,
a professional
everyone.
operation
We are
refined
so
over
glad
multiple
you could
victims.
join us on this
But
beautiful
collecting
day
evidence and
to
reaching my
celebrate
son
this
were
momentous
different
occasion.
challenges.
To
The
Sarah
Sunday
and
after the
James,
Seattle trip,
thank
Rufus
you for
called.
inviting us to
Dad,
share in
can
your
we
special
reschedule
day.
dinner?
Your
Celeste
love
needs help
is an
choosing between
inspiration to
venues.
us all.
I
It's
agreed.
wonderful to
Following
see so
Sunday
many of you
photographer
here
meeting
today.
ran late.
We
Third
truly
Sunday.
appreciate you
Sorry, Dad.
celebrating
Wedding
this
planning is
moment with us.
overwhelming. We'll catch up soon.
Good evening.
3 consecutive
Thank you all for
cancellations.
being here.
Our tradition
It's a pleasure
maintained
to
even
host
during
you
his college
in this
years abroad
incredible
now
setting
abandoned.
tonight.
Celeste was
Welcome,
executing
everyone.
exactly what Kevin had warned
We are
about
so
isolation by
thrilled you could
increments.
join us today
By mid-July, I
on
understood
this
she'd
beautiful
sensed
occasion.
something. My performance had slipped.
We are
Somehow
so
her
glad you
instincts
could all
detected
make
danger.
it here today
Either way,
to
she was
share
moving to
in this
neutralize me.
special moment.
Wednesday evening, I was preparing dinner when
To
the phone
Sarah
rang.
and James,
Rufus's
thank you all
voice
for
carried
coming out today to
unfamiliar
celebrate
tension.
this incredible
Dad,
moment
we
with
need
them.
to talk.
We wish
Celeste
you both
thinks.
a lifetime of
I've been
happiness.
thinking about our
Welcome,
relationship.
everyone.
Warning bells
We are
immediately.
so glad
I
you
kept
could
my
join
voice
us
neutral.
today for this
What about it?
wonderful
You've been distant
celebration.
lately. When we visit, you
It
ask
means
strange
so much to
questions.
see all of
Celeste
you here
noticed
today
you recording conversations.
celebrating their love.
She thinks it's because you
We
don't
wish them
trust her.
all the best.
My mind raced.
Welcome, everyone.
How did she know about the
We are
recordings?
so glad you
Did
could
Rufus
join
tell
us
her
on
about the
this
family Family
beautiful
History
day
Project?
to
Son,
celebrate this
those
momentous
recordings are
occasion.
for preserving
To
family
Sarah and
memories.
James,
Like I
thank you for
explained.
inviting us
That's
to
what you
share in
said.
your special day.
But why do you
Your
need
love
to
is
record
an inspiration
everything?
to us all.
It feels
It's
like
wonderful
surveillance,
to
like
see
you're
so
looking
many
for
of you here
problems that don't
today.
exist.
We
The
truly
phrasing
appreciate
"looking
you
for problems
celebrating
that
this
don't
moment
exist"
with us.
was definitely Celeste's
Good
language.
evening. Thank
Rufus
you all for
continued,
being here.
Celeste
It's a
thinks
pleasure
maybe
to
you're having
host you
trouble letting
in
me
this
go.
incredible
She says
setting
parents
tonight.
sometimes sabotage their
Welcome,
kids'
everyone.
relationships because they fear
We are so
abandonment.
thrilled you could
Textbook
join us
manipulation.
today on this beautiful
Reframe
occasion.
protective concern as selfish control.
We are so glad you
I
could
responded
all make it
carefully.
here today.
I support
share
your
in
happiness,
this
Rufus.
special moment.
Always have. Then why does Celeste feel
Sarah
unwelcome?
and James,
Why do
thank
you
you all for
interrogate
coming
her
out
about
today to
finances
celebrate
and
this
estate
incredible
planning?
moment with them.
I don't
We
interrogate.
wish you both a
I engage
lifetime
in
of
conversation she initiates.
Welcome, everyone.
She says you
We
twist
are
things,
so
make
glad
innocent
you could
questions
join
seem
us
suspicious.
today for this
The
wonderful
conversation
celebration.
spiraled. Rufus grew defensive.
It means so
I
much
remained
to see
measured, but
all
felt
of you
my
here
son slipping
today
away. The
celebrating
call
their
ended
love.
with Rufus saying,
We wish
maybe
them
we should
all
take a
the
break
best.
from dinners until after the
Welcome,
wedding.
everyone.
Give
We're
everyone
so
space
glad
to
you
breathe.
could join us on this
I
beautiful
agreed. What
day
choice did I
to
have?
celebrate this
But I
momentous
recognize this
occasion.
as Celeste's victory.
To Sarah and James,
Complete
thank
isolation
you for
achieved.
inviting us to share
The following
in your
morning,
special
I met
day.
Reynolds at her office,
Your love
explained
is
the
an inspiration
deteriorating
to us
relationship
all.
with Rufus
It's
Celeste's
wonderful to see
counterattack.
so many of
She
you
listened
here
with
today.
professional
We
sympathy.
truly
This
appreciate
is expected.
you
She's
celebrating
protecting
this
her
moment with
investment.
us.
Your son
Good
is
evening.
an asset she's cultivated.
Thank you all for being
She
here.
won't let you
It's
interfere
a pleasure
without a
to
fight.
host you
Can
in
I
this
approach him
incredible
now?
setting tonight.
Show him the evidence.
Welcome,
Reynolds shook her
everyone.
head firmly.
We are
Partial
so
revelation
thrilled
is
you could
dangerous.
join us today
You'll show him the
on this
investigation.
beautiful occasion.
She'll explain it away. Your
We are
father
so
hired a
glad you could
detective
all
because he's
make it here
paranoid.
today to
You present
share
the
in this
previous
special
marriages.
moment.
She says, I was young, made mistakes,
Sarah
learned
and
from them.
James, thank you all
You
for
showed
coming
Daniel
out
Krauss
today to
photographs.
celebrate this
She
incredible
claims
moment with
business
them.
associate.
We wish
Your
you
father's
both a
twisting
lifetime
innocent
of
meetings.
happiness.
Every
Welcome,
piece
everyone.
of evidence you reveal
We are so
prematurely becomes
glad you could
inoculation.
join us today
She builds
for this
antibodies against
wonderful
the truth.
celebration.
So I do nothing while she turns
It
them
means
against
so
me.
much to see
You
all of
continue
you
building
here
the case.
today
We need
celebrating their
overwhelming
love.
proof presented
We
at a
wish
moment
them
she cannot
all
spin
the
it.
best.
Wedding day
Welcome,
itself might be
everyone.
ideal.
We are so
Public
glad you
setting,
could join
emotional
us on this
stakes,
beautiful
high,
day
her guard
to
lowered by
celebrate
perceived
this
victory.
momentous occasion.
I considered
To
this.
Sarah and
You're
James,
suggesting I
thank
let
you
the
for
wedding
inviting us
proceed
to
to the
share
brink
in
of
your special
disaster.
day.
I'm
Your
suggesting
love
you
is an
strike
inspiration
when the
to us
target is
all.
most vulnerable.
It's wonderful to
Celeste
see so
expects
many of you here
opposition before the
today.
wedding.
We
She's
truly
defending against
appreciate
that.
you
She won't
celebrating this
expect
moment with
opposition
us.
at the wedding. Element of
evening.
surprise is your
Thank
advantage.
you all for being here.
That
It's
afternoon
a
web
pleasure
call,
to host
she met
you
Daniel
in
again.
this incredible
Downtown
setting
Marriott
tonight.
room 847.
Welcome,
Spent
everyone.
3 hours there yesterday.
We are so
I couldn't get
thrilled
inside,
you could
obviously,
join us today
but I planted an
on
audio
this
device in the
beautiful
hallway
occasion.
near the door. Not admissible
We
in
are
court,
so glad
but gives
you
us
could
intelligence.
all make it here
He
today
emailed the encrypted
to
audio
share
file.
in this
I
special
downloaded
moment.
it, played the recording through headphones.
To
Hotel
Sarah and
corridor
James,
sounds,
thank you
elevator
all for
dings,
coming out today to
footsteps,
celebrate this incredible
muffled
moment
voices.
with them.
Then
We
a door
wish you
opening.
both a lifetime
Celeste's
of happiness.
laugh.
Welcome,
Daniel's
everyone.
lower voice.
We are
The door
so
closed,
glad
but the
you could
device
join us
captured their
today
conversation
for
through
this
poor
wonderful
insulation.
celebration.
Quality was marginal, but
It
words
means
emerged
so
clearly
much to
enough.
see all of you here
10
today
more weeks of this charade.
celebrating their
8.
love.
Wedding's August 16th.
We wish
After
them
that
all the
timeline
best.
accelerates.
Welcome,
And the father,
everyone.
he's a problem.
We are so
Handled.
glad you could join
I've
us
isolated
on
the
this
son
beautiful
effectively.
day
Old
to
man can
celebrate
suspect
this
whatever he
momentous
wants.
occasion.
Rufus won't
To
believe
Sarah
him
and
now.
James,
Sound
thank
of
you
ice
for
and glass,
inviting us to
movement.
share in your special
You said
day.
that about Morgan's
Your
brother.
love is
He
an
nearly
inspiration
derailed
to us
everything.
all.
It's
This is
wonderful
different.
to see so
Rufus
many
is
of
more
you here
malleable.
today.
No
We
close
truly
family except
appreciate
father.
you
And I've
celebrating this
poisoned that
moment with
relationship.
us.
After the wedding, the
evening.
prenup activates.
Thank you all for
Give it
being
18
here.
months.
It's a pleasure
18
to
months
host
playing
you
devoted wife.
in this incredible
I've done
setting
longer.
tonight.
Remember the contract.
Welcome, everyone.
2 years of that tedium.
We are
This
so
one's easier.
thrilled you could join
He
us
actually
today
believes I love him.
on this
Cruel
beautiful
laughter
occasion.
from both. I stopped the
We
playback,
are so
sat in
glad you
silence,
could
hearing
all
her
make it
voice,
here
not the
today
warm tone she used
to
with me,
share
but
in
cold
this special
calculation with
moment.
Daniel. It crystallized everything.
Sarah and James,
This wasn't
thank you all
romance
for
gone
coming
wrong.
out today to
It was
celebrate this
premeditated
incredible
fraud,
moment with them.
and Rufus
We
was
wish you
completely
both a
blind to it.
lifetime of happiness.
The following Sunday,
Welcome,
I
everyone.
violated my own
We
strategic
are
patience.
so glad you could
Drove
join
to
us
Rufus's
today
apartment
for this
unannounced, hoping
wonderful
to catch him alone.
celebration.
He answered the door with
It means
surprise,
so much to
bordering on
see all of you
irritation.
here today
Dad, what are you
celebrating
doing
their
here?
love.
Wanted to see you.
We
We've
wish
barely
them
talked
all
in
the
weeks.
best.
He didn't invite
Welcome,
me
everyone.
inside. We
We are
talked
so
in the
glad you
doorway,
could join
awkward
us
and
on this
stilted.
beautiful day
I tried
to
an
celebrate
indirect
this
approach.
momentous
Son, have you
occasion.
had an independent
To
attorney
Sarah and
review the
James,
prenuptial contract?
thank you for inviting
Why
us
would
to
I need
share
that?
in your special
Celeste's
day.
attorney drafted
Your
it
love
fairly.
is an
Standard
inspiration to
practice
us
to have
all.
separate legal
It's
counsel.
wonderful to see so many
Dad,
of
stop.
you here
This
today.
is exactly what
We
Celeste
truly
warned about.
appreciate you
You're trying to undermine
celebrating
our
this moment with
relationship.
us.
I'm trying to protect. I don't
Good
need
evening.
protection.
Thank
I'm
you all for
37
being
years
here.
old, capable
It's
of
a
making my
pleasure
own
to host
decisions.
you in this
I saw
incredible
Celeste's
setting
purse
tonight.
on the entry table.
Welcome,
Realized she was
everyone.
inside listening.
We are
probably
so
coaching
thrilled
this
you could
entire
join us
exchange.
today on
Rufus,
this
please just
beautiful
listen.
occasion.
No, you listen. If
We
you
are
can't
so
support
glad you could all make it here
this
today
marriage, maybe you
to
shouldn't attend the
share
wedding.
in this
Think
special
about
moment.
that. He closed the door. I stood in the
Sarah
empty
and
hallway
James,
feeling
thank
defeat.
you all for coming out
Driving
today to
home, I
celebrate this
understood.
incredible moment
Reynolds
with
was
them.
right.
We
Partial
wish you
approach
both
failed.
a lifetime
I
of
needed
happiness.
overwhelming
Welcome,
confrontation,
everyone.
not gentle persuasion.
We are so
but
glad
the
you could
cost was
join us
watching my
today
son
for
drift
this
into
wonderful
disaster while I
celebration.
prepared. Back
It
home, I
means so
updated the
much
case
to
board
see
with
all
latest
of you here
developments,
today
created a new
celebrating
section
their love.
counterattack timeline,
We wish them
documented
all
each
the
cancellation.
Welcome,
Rufus is
everyone.
changing language,
We are so
Celeste
glad you
escalating
could join
control,
us on this beautiful
added the
day
transcript of the
to
hotel
celebrate
recording,
this momentous
photographs
occasion.
Webb had captured.
To Sarah and
The evidence
James,
covered an
thank
entire
you for
wall now.
inviting us to
Financial
share in your
documents,
special
surveillance
day.
photos.
Your love
Kevin
is
Morgan's
an
testimony
inspiration
recorded
to us all.
conversations,
It's
timeline
wonderful to see
analysis.
so many of you
Any
here
objective
today.
observer would
We
see the clear
truly
pattern.
appreciate you
But Rufus wasn't an
celebrating this
objective
moment with
observer.
us.
He was the target, the
Good
mark, the
evening.
victim in progress.
Thank you all for being
I stood
here.
before the board
It's a
architect
pleasure to
analyzing
host you
complex
in this
structure.
incredible
The
setting
foundation
tonight.
was solid. Legal
Welcome,
framework through
everyone.
Reynolds. Victim
We are so
testimony through
thrilled
Kevin.
you could join
Surveillance
us today
evidence through Webb.
on this beautiful
Documented
occasion.
manipulation through recordings.
We
But
are
timing
so
remained
glad
the
you
critical
could all
variable.
make it here today
Strike too early,
to
the
share
structure
in this
collapsed.
special moment.
Wait too long, Rufus was legally
To
trapped.
Sarah and James,
Wedding date
thank
August
you all
16th.
for coming out today to
It
celebrate
loomed like
this
a
incredible
deadline.
moment with them.
8 weeks away
We
now.
wish you
I
both
made
a
my
lifetime
decision.
of happiness.
Let Celeste
Welcome,
think she'd
everyone.
won. Play
We
the
are so
defeated father
glad you could
accepting
join
loss.
us today
Lower
for
her
this
guard
wonderful
completely.
celebration.
Then at the wedding, when she was most
It
vulnerable,
means
most
so much to
confident,
see
most
all of you here
exposed,
today
strike decisively.
celebrating their love.
No warning,
We
no
wish
mercy,
them
complete
all the
revelation.
best.
Late
Welcome,
July
everyone.
became early August.
We are so
Weeks
glad
of
you could
silence
join
from
us on
Rufus,
this
no
beautiful
calls,
day
no
to
texts,
celebrate this
complete
momentous
radio
occasion.
silence.
To
I
Sarah
maintained
and
the
James,
strategic withdrawal,
thank you for
resisting
inviting
every
us to
urge to
share in
reach
your
out.
special day.
Let Celeste believe
Your
she'd
love
won.
is an inspiration to
guard
us
drop.
all.
It's
Meanwhile,
wonderful
the
to
work
see so
continued.
many of you here
Webb
today.
submitted final surveillance
we truly
reports.
appreciate
Celeste
you
and Daniel met
celebrating
4
this
times in
moment with
10
us.
days as the wedding approached.
Good evening.
Hotel rooms, expensive
you all for
restaurants,
being here.
extended afternoons
It's a
at his
pleasure
waterfront
to
condo.
host you in this
Each meeting
incredible
documented,
setting
photographed,
tonight.
time-stamped.
Welcome,
The pattern was
everyone.
clear. They were
We are
planning
so
the post-wedding
thrilled you could
phase,
join us
confident in their
today
scheme.
on this
Patricia
beautiful
Reynolds
occasion.
organized the evidence into a legal
We are
presentation.
so glad you could
Victim
all make it
testimony,
here today
financial
to
documentation,
share in
surveillance
this
materials,
special moment.
recorded conversations, prenuptial
To
analysis.
Sarah and James,
This would
thank
convince
you all
any
for
judge,
coming
she
out
said.
today to celebrate this
But your
incredible
audience
moment
is your
with them.
son, not
We
a
wish you
court.
both a
Arrange
lifetime of
materials
happiness.
for emotional impact,
Welcome,
not
everyone.
just legal strength.
We are so
2 weeks
glad
before
you
the
could
wedding,
join
I
us
was ready.
today
Then
for
the
this
phone rang.
wonderful
It
celebration.
was Wednesday evening, August 6th. I
It
was in the
means so
command
much
center
to see
arranging
all
evidence
of you here
packets
today
when Rufus's name
celebrating
appeared on
their
my
love.
screen. First call
We
in
wish
3
them
weeks.
all the best.
His voice was uncertain,
everyone.
almost sheepish.
We are
Hi,
so
son.
glad you could join us on
Silence
this
stretched
beautiful
between
day
us.
to
Then wedding
celebrate this
Saturday.
momentous
I know we've
occasion.
had distance
To
lately,
Sarah
but you're
and
still my
James,
father.
thank you
I
for
want you
inviting
there.
us to share in
I
your
was
special
careful.
day.
Does Celeste want me
Your
there?
love is an inspiration
trailed
to
off.
us all.
She thinks maybe it's
wonderful to
not a
see
good
so
idea,
many
but
of you
it's
here
my
today.
wedding too. I'm
we
inviting
truly
you.
appreciate
I
you
appreciate that.
celebrating this
Of course
moment
I'll
with us.
attend. Really,
Good
I
evening.
thought maybe you'd. I
Thank you
support
all for
your
being
happiness.
here.
Rufus
It's a pleasure
always
to
has.
host you in this
More silence.
incredible
I
setting
sensed he
tonight.
wanted to say more.
Welcome,
Couldn't quite
everyone.
form the words.
We are so
Finally,
thrilled
ceremonies
you
at
could join us
300
today
p.m. Brookside
on
Country
this
Club.
beautiful occasion.
Reception following. You don't have to
We are
stay
so
long if it's
glad you could
awkward.
all
I'll
make
stay
it
as
here
long as
today
appropriate, I said.
to share in this
But I need to
special
tell you
moment.
something important at the wedding. Will you give me a few
Sarah
minutes of
and
your time
James,
before
thank
or
you all
after
for
the
coming out
ceremony?
today to celebrate
Your choice,
this incredible
important, like
moment
what
with them.
information you
We
need
wish
to
you
have about
both
your
a
future.
lifetime of happiness.
Your marriage,
Welcome,
his defensive
everyone.
tone return.
We
If
are
this is
so
more
glad you
criticism
could join
of
us
Celeste,
today
it's
for this
information.
wonderful celebration.
What you do with it is your choice. Just promise
It
you'll
means
listen.
so much to see all of you
Reluctantly.
here today
Fine. After the
celebrating their
ceremony,
love.
brief conversation.
We wish them all
Thank
the
you.
best.
That's all I ask.
Welcome,
The call ended.
everyone.
I sat
We are
motionless,
so glad you could
processing.
join us on this beautiful
Rufus reaching
day
out despite
to celebrate
Celeste's
this
objection
momentous
suggested
occasion.
the manipulation
To
wasn't
Sarah
absolute.
and James, thank
Some
you
part
for
of him
inviting
still
us to
valued our
share in your
relationship.
special day.
This
Your
complicated the
love is
emotional
an inspiration to us all.
The revelation
It's
would
wonderful
devastate
to see
him, but
so
the
many of you
alternative
here
was worse.
today.
The
We
first
truly
week of August,
appreciate
I
you
transformed
celebrating
months
this
of
moment with
accumulated
us.
materials into
Good
strategic
evening.
presentation.
Thank you all for being
Created 3
here.
identical evidence
It's a pleasure
packets.
to host you
One for
in this
Rufus, one for
incredible
Reynolds
setting
as legal
tonight.
backup, one for my own
Welcome,
reference.
everyone.
Each packet
We
organized
are so
chronologically.
thrilled you could join
Section
us
1
today
background.
on
Kevin
this
Morgan's
beautiful
written
occasion.
testimony. Financial records of
We are
previous
so
divorces,
glad you
pattern
could all
analysis.
make it here today
Section 2.
to share
Current
in this
deception.
special moment.
Web surveillance photographs of Celeste
Sarah
with
and
Daniel
James,
spanning 3
thank
months.
you all for coming out
Hotel
today
records.
to celebrate this
Timeline
incredible
showing
moment with
meetings
them.
throughout Rufus's
We wish you
courtship.
both a lifetime
Section
of
3
happiness.
manipulation evidence.
Welcome, everyone.
Transcripts of recorded
We are so
conversations
glad you could
highlighting
join us
financial
today
probing, estate
for this
planning pressure,
wonderful
isolation
celebration.
tactics. Section
It
4.
means so much to
The
see
smoking
all of you
gun.
here today
Transcript of the hotel
celebrating
hallway
their
recording,
love.
where Celeste
We
and
wish
Daniel
them
discuss
all the
timeline
best.
financial calculations,
Welcome, everyone.
explicit
We are
acknowledgement of
so
the scheme.
glad you could join us on
Section
this
5
beautiful
legal
day
analysis.
to celebrate
Reynolds'
this
assessment
momentous
of the
occasion.
prenuptial contract
To
fraud
Sarah and
indicators
James,
as grounds for
thank you
annulment.
for inviting us
Each
to share
section
in your
marked with
special day.
color-coded tabs.
Your love
Key
is an
passages
inspiration
highlighted.
to us all.
The presentation was a
wonderful to see
masterwork of
so many of you
architectural
here today.
organization.
We truly
Logical flow.
appreciate you
Building
celebrating
evidence
this moment with
systematically
us.
culminating in undeniable
Good evening.
conclusion.
Thank you all
I
for
sealed
being
the packets in
here.
professional
It's a pleasure
folders.
to host you
Labeled them
in this
simply
incredible
The Truth
setting
About
tonight.
Celeste Morgan.
Welcome,
Stored 2
everyone.
copies in the safe.
We are
Kept
so
one accessible
thrilled
for
you could
wedding
join
day.
us today.
Also created
on
a
this
digital
beautiful
backup on
occasion.
an encrypted USB drive.
We are so
If
glad
physical
you could
materials
all
were
make it
somehow
here today
compromised,
to share
evidence
in this
survived.
special moment.
August 8th, I met Reynolds for what we
Sarah
both
and
understood was the
James,
final
thank you all for coming
pre-confrontation
out today
session.
to celebrate this
She reviewed
incredible
the
moment
evidence
with
packets,
them.
pronounced
We
them
wish you both
devastating,
a
then
lifetime
addressed
of
practical
happiness.
concerns.
Welcome, everyone.
Wedding day revelation
We
is
are
high-risk
so
strategy.
glad you could join
Rufus
us
will be
today
emotionally
for
vulnerable,
this
potentially
wonderful
defensive.
celebration.
Celeste will try to control the
It
narrative
means so
immediately.
much to see all of you
You need
here
to present
today
everything at
celebrating their
once.
love.
Give him no time to process
We
through
wish
her
them
filter.
all the best.
What's your
Welcome,
recommendation?
everyone.
Pull him
We
aside
are so
privately
glad
after
you
the
could
ceremony
join
if
us on this
possible.
beautiful day
Find a moment when
to
you can speak to
celebrate
him
this
alone with the
momentous
evidence.
occasion.
She
To
paused.
Sarah and James,
What's your extraction
thank you
plan?
for inviting us to
Extraction.
share in your special
After
day.
revelation,
Your love
Rufus
is
will
an
need space away
inspiration
from
to us
Celeste
all.
to process.
It's wonderful
She'll try to
see
isolate
so
him
many of you
immediately.
here today.
Spin the evidence.
We truly
You need
appreciate
somewhere he
you
can go.
celebrating
Your
this
house,
moment
hotel
with
room,
us.
anywhere she can't follow.
Good evening.
I hadn't
Thank
considered
you all
this.
for being here.
My
It's
house.
a pleasure to
I'll
host
insist
you
he come
in
home
this
with me to
incredible
discuss.
setting tonight.
Reynolds nodded. Good.
Welcome,
Have a bag
everyone.
packed for him. Clothes,
We are
toiletries,
so
whatever he
thrilled
might
you
need
could
for a
join
few
us
days.
today.
Show
on
him
this
you're prepared to
beautiful
support
occasion.
him through the aftermath. August 10th,
We are so glad
Webb
you could
delivered
all
his
make it here
concluding
today
investigation
to
materials.
share in this special
Final
moment.
photographs showed Celeste and Daniel at a
To Sarah
waterfront
and
restaurant
James,
3 days
thank
prior.
you all for coming
Their
out today to
conversation
celebrate this
apparently
incredible
intense.
moment with them.
Based on their body
We wish you
language and
both a
duration,
lifetime
2
of
hours,
happiness.
I'd say they're
Welcome,
finalizing
everyone.
post-wedding plans.
We are so
She's
glad you
stressed.
could join
He's
us today
reassuring.
for this
Timeline's
wonderful
approaching and she's
celebration.
feeling pressure.
It-
Webb
it
also
means so
provided
much to
financial
see all of
intelligence.
you here today.
I pulled Daniel's
celebrating
recent
their love.
transactions through a source I
We
have.
wish them
He's
all
paid
the
for
best.
all their hotel
Welcome,
rooms,
everyone.
dinners, even
We are
bought her
so
expensive
glad you could
jewelry
join us on
she
this
probably won't
beautiful
wear around
day
Rufus.
to celebrate
He's
this
invested
momentous
significantly in
occasion.
this relationship.
To Sarah and
I
James,
absorbed this
thank you
additional
for
dimension.
inviting us to share in your
So
special
Daniel's
day.
a victim too in his
Your
way.
love is an
Willing
inspiration
victim.
to us all.
He knows what
It's
she's doing to
wonderful
your
see
son.
so many of
That
you here
recording
today.
proved it.
We
He's
truly
complicit.
appreciate you
Webb extended his
celebrating
hand.
this
Good
moment
luck.
with us.
This has been the most
Good
satisfying
evening.
case in years.
Thank you all for
Stopping
being
a predator
here.
before she
It's a
completes the
pleasure to
cycle.
host you in
August
this
12th
incredible
evening, 4
setting
days before
tonight.
the wedding, I was reviewing the
Welcome,
evidence
everyone.
packets when the phone rang again.
We are so
Rufus's
thrilled you
voice
could join
ceremonies at
us
3
today
p.m.
on this beautiful
Brookside
occasion.
Country Club. I know I already told
We
you,
are
but I
so
wanted to make
glad
sure
you
you were
could
really
all
coming.
make it
I'll
here
be there,
today
son. Okay.
to share
Thanks,
in
Dad.
this special moment.
After he hung up, I sat in silence. That
Sarah
night, I
and
wrote a
James,
letter to Rufus,
thank you all
sealed it
for
in
coming
an
out
envelope
today to
to be
celebrate
opened
this
only if the
incredible moment with
confrontation
them.
went
We wish you
catastrophically
both
wrong.
a lifetime
Explanation
of
of the
happiness.
investigation.
Welcome, everyone.
Motivation,
We are
evidence,
so
location.
glad you could join
Apology
us
for
today
method,
for this
but not for
wonderful
intention.
celebration.
Place the letter in my safe
It means
deposit
so
box
much
with
to see
instructions from
all
my
of you
attorney.
here today
Backup
celebrating
plan
their
in
love.
case of worst outcomes.
We wish them
August
all the
15th,
best.
Friday evening,
Welcome,
night
everyone.
before the confrontation.
We are so glad
I
you could
prepared
join us on
methodically,
this beautiful
laid out my
day
formal suit,
to celebrate
ensured
this
the evidence
momentous
folder was
occasion.
ready. Tested the
Sarah and
recording
James,
device, small
Thank
digital
you for
recorder
inviting
that
us
fit
to
in my
share in
jacket
your
pocket.
special day.
Reviewed key
Your
talking
love
points
is
for
an inspiration
presentation.
to us all.
Ate a light
It's
dinner.
wonderful to
Needed
see
a calm
so many
stomach
of you here
tomorrow.
today.
Sat in
We
the command
truly
center there one final time, reviewing the evidence board. Months of work
Good
compressed
evening.
into tomorrow's
Thank
minutes.
you all for being
I
here.
photographed the
It's
entire
a pleasure
board with
to
my
host
phone.
you in this
Visual record
incredible
of the
setting
investigation's
tonight.
evolution.
Welcome,
Then
everyone.
systematically dismantled
We
it.
are so
Filed the
thrilled you could
materials.
join us today.
The command center
on this
transformed back
beautiful
into a guest
occasion.
bedroom. Physical
We are
evidence
so
removed,
glad
but
you could all
psychological
make it here
preparation
today
complete.
to share
That
in
night,
this special
sleep was
moment.
elusive. I lay in darkness, mind running
To
through
Sarah and
scenarios.
James,
Best
thank you
case,
all for
Rufus
coming
sees
out
the
today
truth,
to
immediately
celebrate this
leaves with
incredible
me,
moment with
cuts
them.
contact with
We
Celeste.
wish you both a
Worst
lifetime
case,
of
Rufus
happiness.
believes her spin
Welcome,
chooses
everyone.
fiancé.
We
over
are so
father
glad
proceeds
you
with
could
wedding.
join us today
Most
for
likely
this
confusion
wonderful
denial.
celebration.
Gradual acceptance over hours or
It means
days.
so much to see
I was
all of
prepared
you
for
here
all
today
scenarios, but hoped for
celebrating
swift
their
recognition.
love.
As
We
dawn
wish them
approached, I
all
finally
the
slept
best.
briefly, dreaming of
Welcome,
construction
everyone.
sites and
We are
buildings
so glad
collapsing
you
of
could join us
foundations
on
that
this
held
beautiful day
and those that
to
failed.
celebrate this
Woke at
momentous
600
occasion.
To
wedding
Sarah
day had
and
arrived.
James, thank
Wedding
you
morning
for inviting
arrived
us
with
to
gray
share in your
Portland
special
skies,
day.
threatening rain that never
Your
came.
love is an
I dressed
inspiration to us
methodically.
all.
Formal
It's
charcoal
wonderful to see
suit, white
so
shirt,
many of you here
conservative tie.
today. We
The evidence
truly
folder
appreciate
slipped into
you
my jacket's inner
celebrating
pocket.
this moment
Weight
with us.
barely noticeable, but presence
Good evening.
constant.
Thank
Digital
you all for
recorder
being
tested
here.
one final
It's
time.
a pleasure to host
Battery
you
full
in
memory,
this
clear
incredible
voice activated
setting
function
tonight.
engaged. I arrived
Welcome,
at Brookside
everyone.
Country Club 90 minutes
We are
before
so
the ceremony.
thrilled you could join
Wanted
us
to observe
today
the setup,
on this
understand venue
beautiful
layout,
occasion.
identify private spaces where
We are so
post-ceremony
glad you
conversation
could
with
all
Rufus
make
could
it here
occur.
today.
The club
to share
occupied
in
rolling
this special
hillside
moment.
overlooking Willamette Valley, manicured
Sarah and
lawns,
James,
vintage
thank you all
architecture,
for coming out today to
discreet
celebrate
wealth.
this incredible
The
moment
parking
with
lot
them.
was already
We
filling with
wish you
expensive
both a
vehicles.
lifetime of happiness.
Inside,
Welcome,
controlled chaos
everyone.
of final preparations.
We are so glad you
Florists
could join us
adjusting
today
arrangements.
for this
Caterers
wonderful
organizing
celebration.
the reception hall.
It
Photographer
means so
testing
much
lighting
to see
angles.
all of you here
I
today
positioned myself
celebrating
strategically
their
for the
love.
ceremony.
We wish them
Back row
all
aisle
the
seat,
best.
clear sight line.
Welcome, everyone.
Guests arrived in
We are
waves.
so glad you could
Celeste's
join us
side
on this
filled quickly
beautiful
with
day
well-dressed
to
strangers.
celebrate this momentous
Rufus's side
occasion.
remained sparse
To
evidence of the
Sarah and
isolation
James,
she'd engineered.
thank you for inviting us
I
to share
recognized
in
few
your
of his
special
colleagues,
day.
no close friends.
Your love
The
is
wedding
an
party
inspiration
assembled.
to us all.
Then the processional music
Wonderful to
began.
see so many
Celeste
of you
appeared at
here
the
today.
aisle's head,
We
objectively
truly
beautiful in an
appreciate you
elaborate white
celebrating
gown
this moment
that probably
with us.
cost $15,000.
Good evening.
She walked toward Rufus
Thank you all
with
for being
practiced,
here.
grace smile,
It's a pleasure
radiating
to host
confidence.
you in this
I
incredible
activated the
setting
recording
tonight.
device with a subtle pocket touch.
Welcome, everyone.
Vows were exchanged.
We are so
I
thrilled you could
promised
join
to
us
love, honor,
today
cherish.
on this
Each
beautiful
word from
occasion.
Celeste's mouth a documented
We
lie.
are so glad you
Rings
could
placed.
all make it here
I
today
now pronounce you
to
husband
share
and wife.
in this special
Guests
moment.
applauded. The couple kissed.
To Sarah
I watched
and
my
James,
son seal
thank
a
you
legal
all for
trap,
coming out today
knowing
to
I had
celebrate
perhaps
this
30
incredible
minutes
moment
to
with
spring him
them.
free.
We wish you
The
both
reception
a
began in
lifetime
the
of
adjacent
happiness.
ballroom.
Welcome, everyone.
Cocktail hour
We are
proceeded.
so glad you
Champagne
could join
flowing,
us today
appetizers
for this
circulating.
wonderful
I
celebration.
maintained a peripheral position.
It
Declined
means so
alcohol
much to see
observed.
all of you
Celeste
here
remained
today
attached to Rufus's
celebrating
arm,
their love.
steering conversations,
We
intercepting
wish them
anyone who
all the
approached him
best.
independently.
Welcome, everyone.
Classic control
We
behavior.
are so glad you could
I tracked
join
the
us
venue
on this
layout
beautiful
mentally.
day
Main
to
ballroom,
celebrate this
side rooms
momentous
for private
occasion.
conversations,
To Sarah and
emergency
James,
exits,
thank you for
DJ
inviting
booth
us
with
to share in
microphones
your
set up for
special
toasts.
day. Your
Identified
love is an
optimal private
inspiration
space.
to us all.
Small library
It's
off the main
wonderful
hallway.
to see so many of
Door
you
closes,
here today.
windows
We
provide
truly
light,
appreciate
furniture
you
suitable for
celebrating
document
this
review.
moment with us.
Reception transition to
Good
seated
evening.
dinner.
Thank you
Assigned
all for
seating
being
placed
here.
me at table
It's a
8,
pleasure
far from
to
the head
host you
table where the
in this
newlyweds sat
incredible
elevated.
setting tonight.
Deliberate slight,
Welcome, everyone.
undoubtedly Celeste's arrangement.
We are so
Throughout dinner, I
thrilled you
watched
could
her.
join us
She was
today
radiant,
on
victorious,
this
completely
beautiful
confident.
occasion.
Perfect. Then dessert
We are
concluded,
so glad
and the
you
DJ
could all
announced,
make it here
"Now
today
we'll hear from the bride's
to
parents,
share in
followed
this
by
special
father
moment."
of the groom." Before toast began,
To
Celeste
Sarah and
excused
James,
herself from the
thank
head
you
table.
all for coming out
She
today to
detoured to
celebrate
my
this
table,
incredible
leaned down
moment with
close,
them.
voice low
We
enough
wish you
only I could
both a
hear.
lifetime of happiness.
"Delbert, I want to thank
Welcome,
you. You raised a
everyone.
wonderful son."
We are so
Your job is
glad you could
complete
join
now.
us today
She
for
paused,
this
gauging my
wonderful
reaction.
celebration.
I remained expressionless.
It means so much
This
to
is my
see
family
all
now.
of you here today
Rufus and I discussed
celebrating
it.
their
We need
love.
space to build our
We
marriage
wish them
without
all the
interference.
best.
Meaning you
Welcome,
should probably
everyone.
leave soon.
We are so glad
You've been
you
here
could
for the
join us on
ceremony.
this
That's
beautiful
sufficient.
day to
Rufus
celebrate
asked me to
this
stay for
momentous
toasts, I
occasion.
said calmly.
To Sarah and
Rufus
James,
asked for many
thank
things
you
when
for
he's being
inviting us to
sentimental.
share in your special day.
I'm telling you what's actually
Your
best
love
for him.
is an inspiration
And frankly,
to
her
us all.
mask slipped
It's
slightly,
wonderful to see
contempt
so
breaking
many of
through
you
your
here
excess
today.
here.
We
You don't
truly
fit with our
appreciate you
friends, our
celebrating
lifestyle,
this
our
moment
future.
with us.
Go home.
Good evening.
Don't come back.
Thank you
you all for being
She
here.
straightened,
It's
smoothed
a
her
pleasure
dress.
to
I
host you
spoke quietly.
in this incredible
All right,
setting
Celeste.
tonight.
She smiled vindicated.
Welcome, everyone.
But I'm taking someone
We are
with me
so
when I leave.
thrilled you could join
She
us
paused,
today
processed
on
this.
this beautiful
Taking
occasion.
someone. What does that mean? You'll
We are
see
so
shortly.
glad you could all
Something
make
in my
it here
tone
today
finally registered.
to share
Her
in this
confidence
special
wavered
moment.
microscopically. What do you enjoy your
To
reception,
Sarah and
Celeste?
James,
Thank
What's
you all
left
for
of
coming
it?
out today to
I
celebrate
stood
this
walked toward the
incredible moment
DJ
with
booth.
them.
She
We
watched
wish you both
uncertainty
a
blooming into
lifetime of
concern,
happiness.
but couldn't
Welcome,
pursue without
everyone.
creating a scene.
We are
I
so
reached the
glad
DJ
you
booth
could
as the
join us
bride's parents
today
concluded
for
their
this
generic well
wonderful
wishes.
celebration.
The DJ extended the microphone.
It means so
You're
much
next,
to
sir.
see all of you
Father
here
of the groom.
today
I
celebrating
accepted the
their
microphone
love.
step to where the
We wish
entire
them
reception
all the
could see me.
best.
200
Welcome,
faces
everyone.
turned my direction.
We are so glad
Rufus
you could
watched
join
from the
us on
head
this
table
beautiful
anxious,
day
but
to
expecting a
celebrate
conventional
this momentous
toast.
occasion.
Celeste's
To
expression
Sarah and
showed
James,
first real alarm.
thank you for inviting us
Thank
to
you all
share
for
in your
attending
special
this
day.
celebration.
Your
I'm
love
Delbert
is
Boyd
an
Rufus's
inspiration
father.
to us all.
Standard
It's
opening.
wonderful to see
Guests
so
relax
many of you
slightly.
here today.
Traditionally, this
We
is the
truly
moment for a
appreciate
toast.
you
Celebration,
celebrating this moment
well
with
wishes, welcoming a new family
Good
member.
evening.
Pause.
Thank you all for being
I'm
here.
not giving that
It's a
toast.
pleasure to
What I
host
have to
you
say is
in
more
this
important than
incredible
tradition.
setting tonight.
Rufus, I look directly
Welcome,
at my
everyone.
son. I need to
We
speak
are
with
so
you privately.
thrilled you could join us
immediately.
today
This
on
cannot
this
wait.
beautiful
The
occasion.
room's energy shifted, sensing
We are
irregularity.
so glad
Rufus
you
half
could all
stood.
make it here today
Dad, what are you?
to share
Rufus,
in
I
this
need to speak
special
with
moment.
you privately right now. This is extraordinarily
To
important.
Sarah and James,
Silence blanketed
thank you
the
all
reception.
for coming out today to
Celeste's
celebrate
face
this
drained of
incredible
color.
moment with them.
This can wait.
We wish you
Let's
both a
continue the
lifetime of
reception.
happiness.
Welcome,
Address
everyone.
family matters later.
We are so glad
No,
you could
I
join us
interrupted
today
firmly.
for
This
this
cannot
wonderful
wait.
celebration.
Rufus, give me 10 minutes.
It means
private
so much to
conversation.
see all of you
What I
here
show
today
you will change
celebrating their love.
Reception frozen
We wish
in
them
confused
all
silence.
the best.
Guests
Welcome,
whispered,
everyone.
uncertain whether this
We are
was
so
planned
glad
drama
you could join
or
us
real
on this
conflict.
beautiful day
Rufus
to
stood fully
celebrate
torn
this
between my
momentous
urgency
occasion.
and Celeste's
To
restraining
Sarah
hand on
and
his arm.
James,
She
thank you
hissed
for
something
inviting us to
inaudible.
share in your
He
special
shook his
day.
head, stepped away from the
Your
table.
love is an
10 minutes,
inspiration
Dad.
to us all.
Then you need to
It's
explain
wonderful
why
to
you're
see
disrupting
so
my
many of you
wedding.
here today.
He walked toward
We
me.
truly
Celeste
appreciate
rose to
you
follow. I raised
celebrating
my
this
hand.
moment with us.
Just Rufus. This
Good evening.
conversation is between
Thank
father
you all
and
for
son.
being here.
He's my
It's
husband
a pleasure
now.
to host you
Celeste
in this
protested.
incredible
I have a
setting
right.
tonight.
You have no rights to
Welcome,
this
everyone.
conversation. Rufus,
We are
please.
so thrilled you could
Library
join
down
us
that
today
hall. Just us.
on this beautiful occasion.
Rufus nodded, uncertainty clear, but
We are
curiosity
so
stronger.
glad you could
We
all
walked
make it
toward the
here
exit.
today.
Behind us,
to
Celeste
share
called
in this
Rufus.
special
Don't let him
moment.
manipulate you. Whatever he's about
To
to
Sarah
say.
and James,
Her
thank
voice
you all for
faded as
coming
we
out
entered the
today to
hallway.
celebrate this
I
incredible
guided
moment
my son to
with
the
them.
library,
We
opened
wish
the
you
door,
both a
gestured
lifetime of
inside.
happiness.
Rufus entered.
Welcome, everyone.
I followed, closed the
We
door
are
firmly.
so glad you could
Through the
join
wood
us
muffled
today
sounds of
for
the
this
agitated
wonderful
reception.
celebration.
We were alone now. The
It
moment
means
of
so
truth had
much to
arrived.
see all of
The
you
library
here
door
today
clicked shut.
celebrating
Silence
their love.
pressed against us, thick,
We wish them
anticipatory,
all the
breakable.
best.
Rufus stood
Welcome,
near the
everyone.
bookshelf, arms crossed
We are so
defensively,
glad you could
jaw
join us
set,
on this
his wedding
beautiful
suit still
day
perfect,
to celebrate this
boutonniere,
momentous
still
occasion.
fresh husband,
To
for
Sarah
less than
and
3
James,
hours.
thank
All
you
right,
for
he said
inviting us
tersely.
to share in your
10
special
minutes.
day.
You've destroyed my
Your
wedding
love is
reception
an
for this.
inspiration to us all.
Show me whatever
It's
evidence
wonderful to
justifies
see
that.
so many
I
of you
removed the
here
folder
today.
from my jacket,
We
placed it on
truly
the mahogany
appreciate
table
you
centered in the room.
celebrating this moment with
Maybe
us.
2 inches thick months of
Good evening.
investigation compressed
Thank
to
you all for
portable
being
form.
here. It's a
My
pleasure
hands
to
were
host
steady.
you
I'd
in this
spent too long
incredible
preparing
setting
for this
tonight.
moment to tremble. Now,
Welcome,
before I
everyone.
open this, understand something.
We are so thrilled
Everything
you could
inside
join
was
us
legally
today
obtained.
on this
Nothing
beautiful
fabricated,
occasion.
nothing misinterpreted.
We
Independent
are so
verification
glad you could
available for
all
every
make
claim.
it here today
Why are you talking like a
to
lawyer?
share in
Just
this
show me.
special
I
moment.
opened the folder to the first section. This is
Sarah and
testimony
James,
from Kevin Morgan.
thank you all for coming
Rufus
out today
frowned.
to celebrate
Who?
this
Celeste's
incredible
first
moment
husband.
with them.
His
We
expression
wish you
flickered.
both a lifetime of
Surprised,
happiness.
she told me she'd never been
Welcome,
married.
everyone.
I slid the
We
document
are
across
so
the table.
glad you could
Read it.
join us
He
today
picked up the pages,
for this
reluctantly
wonderful
began scanning.
celebration.
Kevin's statement was detailed.
It means so much
Courtship
to see all of
timeline,
you here today
engagement after 4
celebrating their love.
prenuptial contract,
We wish them
marriage
all the
duration,
best.
financial
Welcome,
manipulation,
everyone. We are
divorce
so
settlement
glad you
costing
could
him
join us on this beautiful day
$180,000 plus
to
business
celebrate
stake.
this momentous
Rufus read
occasion.
slowly, color
To
beginning to
Sarah
drain.
and James, thank
This
you
could be
for
fake.
inviting us to share
Anyone
in
could
your
write.
special day.
Kevin signed it,
Your
notarized
love
statement.
is an
He's
inspiration
willing to
to us
testify
all.
under oath.
It's wonderful to
Here's
see
his
so
contact
many of you
information.
here today.
Call him right now
We
if you doubt.
truly
I pushed
appreciate
my
you
phone across the table.
celebrating this moment
Rufus
with us.
stared at the document, not reaching
Good
for
evening.
the phone. There's a
Thank
second
you all
husband,
for
I
being
continued
here.
quietly.
It's a pleasure to
James
host
Pritchard.
you in this
Similar
incredible
pattern,
setting
similar
tonight.
outcome. She's done this before,
Welcome,
Rufus,
everyone.
twice. You're
We
the
are
third
so
target.
thrilled
No,
you could join us
the word
today
came out weak.
on this
She would have
beautiful
told me.
occasion.
Why would she tell you that
We are
information
so glad
destroys the
you could
illusion
all
she's
make it
carefully
here
built?
today
I opened the
to
second
share
section.
in this special
Photographs
moment.
spilled across the table. Celeste and Daniel
Sarah
Krause at
and
restaurants,
James,
entering
thank
hotels,
you all for
walking
coming
through
out today to
parks,
celebrate this
timestamps
incredible
spanning March
moment
through
with
August.
them.
Who
We
is that
wish you
Rufus
both
asked
a
voice
lifetime
hollow.
of happiness.
Daniel Krause, real
Welcome,
estate agent.
everyone.
They've been
We are
involved for at
so
least
glad you
8
could
months
join
longer
us
than she's known
today
you.
for
I
this
laid out
wonderful
images
celebration.
chronologically. Early March meeting
It
April
means so
hotel
much
visit
to
May
see
afternoon
all
at
of
his
you here
condo,
today
continuing through 2
celebrating
weeks
their
ago.
love.
Every time she claimed
wish
late
them
work
all the
meeting,
best.
clients showing she was with
Welcome,
him.
everyone.
Rufus picked up a photograph
so
showing
glad
them
you could
kissing
join us
outside a
on this
hotel
beautiful
entrance.
day
His
to
hand
celebrate
trembled.
this momentous
You hired a
occasion.
private investigator to
To
follow
Sarah
my
and
fiancé.
James,
I hired
thank
an
you for inviting
investigator
us to
after
share in your
accidentally
special
seeing them
day.
together.
Your
Would you
love
have
is an
believed me without
inspiration to
proof?
us all.
This doesn't mean
It's
maybe it
wonderful
ended
to see
before
so
we got
many of you
serious.
here today.
It didn't end.
We
Look at the
truly
dates.
appreciate you
This one I pointed to a
celebrating
recent
this
photo
moment
was
with
3
us.
days before your wedding. I
Good
opened
evening.
the 3rd section.
Thank you all for
Financial
being here.
documents.
It's a
Look
pleasure
at the
to
divorce
host you
settlements.
in this
Pattern
incredible
of
setting
timing.
tonight.
Marry quickly.
Welcome,
Stay 18
everyone.
months to 2 years.
We are
File
so
for divorce
thrilled you could
once
join us
significant assets
today
have been acquired.
on this
Your
beautiful
prenup,
occasion.
it's designed to maximize her financial
We are
access
so
after 1
glad
year.
you could all
Stop!
make it here today
Rufus's voice broke.
to share
This
in
is,
this
he couldn't
special
finish.
moment.
I pressed forward, had to complete
Sarah
the
and
presentation
James,
while his
thank you all
defenses
for
were
coming
crumbling.
out today to
During
celebrate
wedding
this
planning, I
incredible
recorded
moment
family
with them.
conversations.
We wish you
gave
both a
permission.
lifetime of
Remember
happiness.
Family History Project.
Welcome, everyone.
Rufus nodded
We are
numbly.
so glad
I
you could
recorded
join
because
us
I
today
suspected
for this
manipulation.
wonderful
I opened my
celebration.
laptop, queued audio files.
It
Listen,
means so
I
much
pressed
to
play.
see all of you here
Celeste's
today
voice filled the library,
celebrating their
warm and
love.
concerned.
We wish
Delbert,
them
have you
all the
updated your
best.
will recently?
Welcome,
Estate
everyone.
planning is so
We are
important.
so glad you
Recording
could join us
continued
on
through
this
her
beautiful
probing
day
questions about
to
property
celebrate
value,
this
inheritance
momentous
structure,
occasion.
succession
To Sarah
planning.
and James,
Each
thank
clip
you
showed
for inviting
calculated
us to
financial
share in your
interests
special
masked
day.
as helpful concern.
Your love is an
Rufus
inspiration
listened
to us
with
all.
growing horror.
It's
One more
wonderful
piece,
to
I
see
said.
so many of you
Most
here
important,
today.
I cued the
We
final
truly
audio file.
appreciate you
This was recorded in a
celebrating this
hotel
moment with
hallway.
us.
Audio quality isn't perfect, but
evening.
the words are clear enough.
Thank you all
I
for
pressed
being
play.
here.
Celeste's
it's a
voice
pleasure to
emerged,
host you
talking to
in this
Daniel. 8
incredible
more
setting
weeks
tonight.
of this charade. Her laugh
Welcome,
cool and
everyone.
calculated.
We
Daniel
are so
and the father,
thrilled
he's a
you could
problem.
join us today
Celeste
on
handled.
this beautiful
I've
occasion.
isolated the son effectively.
We
Old
are
man
so
can
glad
suspect
you
whatever
could
he
all
wants.
make it here
Rufus
today
won't believe him now.
to share
Sound of
in this
movement.
special moment.
Ice clinking. Daniel, you said that
Sarah
about
and
Morgan's
James,
brother.
Thank you all
Celeste,
for coming out today
this
to
is
celebrate
different.
this incredible
Rufus is
moment
more
with them.
malleable.
We
After
wish
the
you
wedding, the
both a
prenup
lifetime of
activates.
happiness.
Give it 18
Welcome,
months.
everyone.
Daniel, 18 months
We are
playing
so
devoted
glad
wife.
you could join us
Celeste,
today
I've done
for
longer.
this
This
wonderful
one's easier.
celebration.
He actually believes I love him.
It
Their
means
laughter.
so much to
I
see
stopped
all
the
of you
blowback.
here today
Silence crushed
celebrating
the
their
library.
love.
Rufus sat frozen face,
We wish
completely
them
drained
all
of
the
color.
best.
His breathing had gone
Welcome,
shallow.
everyone.
For 30
We are
seconds, he
so
didn't
glad
move.
you could join
Then
us
that's
on
her
this
voice, not a
beautiful
question
day
statement.
to celebrate
Yes,
this
she called our
momentous
marriage a
occasion.
charade.
To
Yes,
Sarah and
she
James,
said I'm malleable.
Thank you for
that I
inviting
believe
us
she
to
loves
share
me.
in your special day.
His voice cracked on the final
Your love
words.
is an
I'm sorry,
inspiration
son.
to us all.
He stood abruptly,
It's
paced to the
wonderful to see
window,
so many of you
stared
here
out at
today.
manicured grounds
We
where hours
truly
ago he'd
appreciate
married the
you
woman whose voice still
celebrating this
echoed.
moment with
He
us.
actually believes I love him.
Good
the
evening.
prenuptial contract, I
Thank
said
you all for
gently,
being
is
here.
designed to
It's a
maximize her
pleasure to
financial
host you
access.
in this
If
incredible
you stay
setting
married 12
tonight.
months, she's entitled to 40%
Welcome,
of
everyone.
assets acquired during marriage.
We are so
Legal
thrilled
trap
you could
disguised
join
as
us
mutual
today
protection.
on this
Rufus
beautiful
turned from the
occasion.
window. His face had transformed.
We are so glad
shock
you could
giving way
all
to
make it
something
here
colder.
today to
She
share
planned this
in this
from the
special
beginning.
moment.
Researched me, targeted me, performed
Sarah
caring
and James,
girlfriend,
thank
manipulated
you
me
all
away
for
from
coming
you,
out today to
married me all for
celebrate this
money.
incredible
Yes.
moment with them.
What do I do?
We
His
wish you
voice was
both a
empty,
lifetime
hollow.
of
I
happiness.
recognized it, the voice of
Welcome,
someone
everyone.
whose world had just
We are
been
so
demolished,
glad
standing
you
in the
could join
ruins,
us today
unsure where to
for
begin.
this wonderful
I'd
celebration.
heard it in myself after Elizabeth died.
It
First
means so
decision
much
is simpler,
to see
I said.
all of you here
Do
today
you continue this reception
celebrating their
celebrating a
love.
marriage that's built on
We
lies?
wish them
or do
all
you
the
end it
best.
now? He looked at the closed
Welcome,
door.
everyone.
Beyond it,
We are so
200
glad
guests
you could
waited.
join us on
Celeste
this
waited.
beautiful day
Music
to
probably
celebrate
playing.
this
I
momentous
end it, he said
occasion.
quietly, then louder.
To Sarah
I
and
end it now.
James,
He walked
thank
to the
you for
door,
inviting
yanked
us
it
to share
open,
in your
strode
special
down the
day.
hallway toward the reception.
Your love is an
I followed
inspiration
carrying the
to us
folder,
all.
not for
It's
additional
wonderful
evidence
to
it had
see
done its
so
work,
many of you here
but as
today.
physical proof
We
that what
truly
he just
appreciate
experienced
you
was real,
celebrating this
not some
moment with
terrible
us.
nightmare. We entered
Good
the
evening.
reception hall together.
Thank you all for
The
being
music
here.
stopped
It's a
mid-note.
pleasure
The
to
DJ
host
noticed
you
our
in
entrance,
this
first, his
incredible
hands
setting
freezing on his
tonight.
equipment.
Welcome,
Conversations
everyone.
died in concentric
We are
waves
so
as guests
thrilled
turned.
you could join us
Celeste
today
stood from the
on
head
this
table relief,
beautiful
crossing her
occasion.
face until she saw Rufus's
We
expression.
are so
He
glad
walked
you could
directly to
all
her,
make it here
stopping 3
today
feet away.
to share
entire
in this
room
special
watching.
moment.
The wedding is canceled, Rufus announced,
To
voice
Sarah and
carrying to
James,
every corner.
thank you all for coming out today to
Gasps
celebrate
rippled
this
through the
incredible
guests.
moment with them.
Celeste's face
We
went
wish
white.
you both a lifetime
Everyone
of
can
happiness.
leave. Reception is
Welcome,
over.
everyone.
I apologize
We
for
are
the
so
disruption,
glad
but
you
this
could join
marriage
us
was a
today
mistake.
for this
Please
wonderful
go.
celebration.
He turned, walked back toward the exit.
It
Celeste
means
found
so
her voice.
much to see
Rufus,
all of you here today.
what did he tell you?
Celebrating
What
their
lies?
love.
The truth Rufus said
We
without
wish
turning.
them all the best.
About Daniel, about your previous marriages, about your plans for our marriage. He's lying. He's manipulating you. Showed you fabricated evidence. Rufus
To Sarah
stopped,
and
turned.
James,
I heard
thank
your
you for
voice on
inviting us
recording
to share in
discussing
your special
timeline,
day.
calling me malleable.
Your love is
Laughing
an
about how
inspiration
I
to us
actually
all.
believe you love
It's
me.
wonderful
Her
to
face
see
drained
so
further.
many of you here today.
That was
We
taken out of
truly
context.
appreciate you
What context makes
celebrating this
18
moment
months
with
of
us.
charade acceptable? She had
Good
no
evening.
answer. For the first
Thank
time
you
since
all
I'd
for
met
being
her,
here.
Celeste Morgan
It's a
had no
pleasure
prepared
to
script.
host you
No
in this
counter-narrative
incredible
ready.
setting
She
tonight.
stood silent, her carefully
Welcome,
constructed
everyone.
facade crumbling publicly.
We are so
Stop.
thrilled you
Just
could join
stop,
us
Celeste.
today on this
Rufus looked at
beautiful
the confused
occasion.
guests, many now standing whispering,
We are so glad
documenting
you
the
could
drama
all
with
make it here
surreptitious phone
today
cameras.
to share
Please leave.
in this
This
special
is over.
moment.
Celeste's shock gave way to
To
rage.
Sarah and James,
She turned on me
thank
screaming,
you all for coming out
"You
today to
destroyed
celebrate
my
this
wedding. I'll
incredible
sue you
moment
for
with them.
harassment,
We wish you
defamation,
both a
invasion of
lifetime of
privacy.
happiness.
Everything was obtained
Welcome,
legally,"
everyone.
I said calmly.
We are so
One-party
glad you could
consent,
join us
recording
today
laws,
for this
standard
wonderful
surveillance, voluntary
celebration.
testimony. Your attorney will
It means
confirm
so much
it's
to
admissible.
see all of you
You'll
here
regret this,
today
both of you. I'll take everything
celebrating
in
their
court.
love.
You'll get nothing,
We
Rufus
wish
said,
them
voice
all
level,
the best.
but devastating.
Welcome,
The
everyone.
prenup is void due
We're
to
so
fraud.
glad you could
My
join
attorney's
us on
already
this
prepared
beautiful
annulment
day
papers.
to
He walked
celebrate
toward the
this
exit.
momentous
I
occasion.
followed.
To
Behind us,
Sarah and
chaos
James,
erupted.
thank you
Guests
for
standing
inviting us to
confused
share in your
conversations.
special day.
Celeste's voice
Your love
rising in
is an
desperate
inspiration
protest.
to us all.
Her parents attempting damage
wonderful to
control,
see so
offering
many of
conflicting
you here
explanations
today.
to bewildered
We
attendees.
truly appreciate
We pushed
you
through the doors
celebrating
into
this
evening
moment
air.
with us.
Father and son
Good
together,
evening.
walking away from
Thank you all
disaster
for being
narrowly
here.
averted.
It's
The
a
drive
pleasure
home
to
passed
host
in
you
weighted
in
silence.
this incredible setting
Rufus sat in the
tonight.
passenger seat, still wearing
Welcome,
his wedding
everyone.
suit, minus the
We
boutonniere
are
he'd
so
torn off and
thrilled you
discarded
could
in the
join us
parking lot.
today
His
on
hands
this
trembled
beautiful
slightly,
occasion.
shock settling into his system
We
like
are
poison.
so glad
I
you
wanted to
could all
comfort
make
him,
it here
offer
today
reassurance, but
to
knew from
share in this
experience
special
that some
moment.
wounds need space before they can accept treatment.
To Sarah and
Some
James,
structural damage
thank you
must
all
be
for
fully
coming out
assessed
today to
before repairs
celebrate this
begin.
incredible moment
So I
with
drove
them.
maintained
We
silence,
wish you
let him
both a
process.
lifetime of
At my
happiness.
house, he went directly
Welcome,
to the guest
everyone.
room. His
We are
childhood
so
bedroom,
glad you
essentially
could join us
unchanged since
today
high school, and
for
closed
this
the door.
wonderful
I
celebration.
heard nothing for 3 hours.
It means
No
so
movement,
much
no
to
sound,
see
just
all of you
silence
here
filled with
today
invisible but
celebrating their
palpable
love.
pain. I didn't intrude.
We wish them
Let him
all the
process
best.
alone. Made myself
Welcome,
available
everyone.
without
We
imposing.
are so
When he
glad you
finally
could join
emerged, his
us on
face
this
was
beautiful
blotchy from
day
crying,
to
eyes swollen,
celebrate this
but his voice
momentous
was steady.
occasion.
Tell me what
To
happens
Sarah
next
and
legally.
James, thank you
Progress.
for inviting us
Seeking
to share in
practical
your
steps
special day.
rather than drowning in
Your
emotion.
love is
That
an
night we
inspiration
called
to us
Patricia
all.
Reynolds.
It's
She
wonderful
arrived
to
within
see
the
so
hour,
many of you
spread
here
evidence
today.
across my dining
We
table,
truly appreciate
explained legal
you
strategy with
celebrating
clinical
this moment
precision.
with us.
Rufus listened like
Good
a man
evening.
receiving a terminal
Thank you all for
diagnosis,
being
absorbing
here.
information
It's a pleasure
about
to host
dissolution
you
of the
in
life he
this
thought he'd
incredible
built.
setting
He'll need
tonight.
annulment paperwork filed immediately.
Welcome, everyone.
Reynolds explained, pointing to forms.
We are so
We'll
thrilled you
request
could
voiding
join
of
us
the
today
prenuptial agreement
on this
under
beautiful
Oregon's
occasion.
Uniform Premarital Agreement Act,
We are
citing
so
fraud and
glad you could all
misrepresentation.
make it here today
You have strong
to
evidence
share
supporting
in this
this.
special
She'll
moment.
likely counter with claims that you're mentally unstable,
Sarah and James,
suddenly regretted
thank
the
you all for
marriage,
coming out
invented
today to
excuses to
celebrate
exit.
this incredible
Rufus
moment
nodded
with them.
mechanically, and if she
We wish
sues
you
me,
both a
she will.
lifetime of happiness.
That's her pattern.
Welcome,
She files
everyone.
first forcing defense.
We are so
aggressive
glad you could
offense
join
as
us
distraction.
today for
Reynolds
this
was right.
wonderful
5 days
celebration.
later, Celeste's attorney served papers.
It means so much
She was
to
suing
see
for
all
breach
of
of
you here
contract and
today
emotional damages.
celebrating their love.
$1 million. Reynolds
We wish
smiled
them
when she read
all
it.
the best.
Perfect. She's
Welcome,
engaging on
everyone.
legal ground where we're
We are so
strongest.
glad you could
We met in
join
Reynolds'
us on
office
this
a week
beautiful
after the
day
wedding
to
confrontation.
celebrate this
Morning light through
momentous
windows.
occasion.
The
To
three of
Sarah
us
and
around a
James,
conference table
thank
covered
you
with
for
legal
inviting us to
documents and
share in
evidence
your
files.
special day.
Reynolds reviewed Celeste's
Your
lawsuit
love
with
is an
professional
inspiration
detachment.
to us all.
She's claiming
It's
you breached the
wonderful to
prenuptial
see so many
contract
of
by
you here
refusing to
today.
honor the marriage-seeking
We truly
enforcement of
appreciate
contract
you
terms, plus
celebrating
emotional
this moment
distress
with us.
damages. Classic
Good
aggressive
evening.
legal posturing
Thank you all for
meant to
being here.
intimidate you into
It's a
settlement.
pleasure to
Rufus
host
looked
you
exhausted.
in this incredible
Dark circles
setting
under
tonight.
his eyes suggested sleepless
Welcome,
nights.
everyone.
Can she win?
We are
No.
so thrilled
The
you could
contract
join us
was
today
procured through
on this
fraud.
beautiful occasion.
Your father documented that extensively.
We are so
but we'll
glad
need to
you could
prove
all make it
fraudulent
here
intent
today
in court.
to
That
share
means
in this
presenting
special
all
moment.
evidence publicly. Kevin Morgan's
To Sarah and
testimony,
James,
surveillance
thank you
materials,
all for coming
recordings,
out today to
financial
celebrate
analysis.
this incredible
She
moment
paused,
with them.
assessing Rufus
We
carefully.
wish you both a
This will
lifetime
be
of
painful.
happiness.
Your private
Welcome,
humiliation
everyone.
becomes public
We are
record.
so glad
Celeste's
you could join
attorneys
us
will argue
today
you were a
for
willing
this
participant
wonderful
who
celebration.
changed his mind after the wedding.
It
They'll
means
paint
so
you as
much to see
vindictive,
all of you
unstable,
here today
manipulated by your father.
celebrating their
Let them,
love.
I said. Because we
wish
have
them
her voice
all
on
the best.
recording, calling the
Welcome,
marriage a
everyone.
charade, discussing an 18-month timeline, laughing about his belief in her love. We have two previous victims with identical
To
patterns.
Sarah and James,
We have
thank
documentary
you for
evidence of
inviting
her
us to share in
simultaneous
your special
relationship with
day.
Daniel Krause.
Your
Reynolds
love
organized
is an
papers into
inspiration to us
presentation
all.
folders.
It's
The hearing is
wonderful to see
scheduled
so
2 weeks
many of
out.
you here today.
I'll file a
We
counter
truly
motion to void the
appreciate you
contract based on fraud.
celebrating this moment with
We'll
us.
request the court also refer
Good
the
evening.
matter to the district
Thank
attorney
you all
for
for being
criminal
here.
investigation.
It's a
The
pleasure
week
to
before the
host you
hearing,
in
Reynolds
this
conducted
incredible
practice testimony
setting
with
tonight.
Rufus. She played
Welcome,
opposing
everyone.
counsel, attacking his
We are
credibility
so
with brutal
thrilled you
efficiency.
could join us today.
Mr. Boyd, isn't it
on
true
this
you
beautiful
willingly
occasion.
pursued a relationship with Ms. Morgan,
We are
that
so
you
glad
proposed
you could
marriage,
all
that you
make it
signed
here
the
today
prenuptial agreement
share
after
in
reviewing
this
its terms?
special moment.
Rufus, exhausted from emotional turmoil,
To Sarah
struggled to
and
maintain
James,
composure.
thank you all for coming out
Yes, but
today
I
to
didn't
celebrate
know.
this
Didn't know
incredible
what
moment
that
with them.
relationships
We
require
wish you
trust.
both a
Or
lifetime
did
of
you simply
happiness.
regret your decision
Welcome,
and
everyone.
concoct an
We are
elaborate
so
fraud narrative
glad
to
you could
escape
join us
consequences?
today
That's
for this
not. You
wonderful
hired a private
celebration.
investigator to follow your fiancé.
It means so
Recorded
much to
private
see all of you here
conversations.
today
These are actions
celebrating
of a
their love.
paranoid, controlling individual,
We wish
not a
them
victim.
all the
Rufus's
best.
hands clenched.
Welcome, everyone.
Reynolds softened, returned to
We are
her
so
normal
glad
tone.
you could join
That's
us
what they'll
on this
do.
beautiful
Twist
day
facts,
to celebrate
attack
this
character.
momentous occasion.
You need to stay calm.
To Sarah and
stick
James,
to evidence.
thank you for
When
inviting
they
us
attack,
to share in
respond
your
simply.
special day.
I believed I was in
Your
an
love
honest
is an
relationship.
inspiration to us
Evidence
all.
proved otherwise.
It's wonderful
Each
to
night
see
that
so
week, I
many of
found
you here
Rufus still
today.
awake at 2 or 3
We
in the morning.
truly appreciate
Sometimes
you
in the kitchen,
celebrating
staring
this
into
moment
empty
with us.
space. Sometimes in the
Good
living room,
evening.
reviewing evidence
Thank
files
you all for being
repeatedly,
here.
as if
It's
trying
a
to
pleasure
understand
to
how he'd
host you
missed so many
in this
warning signs.
incredible setting
I
tonight.
joined him occasionally, offering silent
Welcome, everyone.
companionship, not advice or
We
reassurance.
are so thrilled
just
you could
presence.
join us today.
You know what hurts most,
on
he
this
said one night?
beautiful occasion.
Not the public humiliation,
We are
not the
so
money.
glad you could
It's
all
that
make it here
I thought
today
she loved me.
to share
I really
in this
believed it.
special moment.
Every word, every touch, every
To
moment
Sarah
felt real.
and James, thank
How
you
do I
all for
ever
coming
trust
out
that
today
feeling
to
again?
celebrate this
I had no
incredible
simple
moment
answer.
with them.
Trust like
We wish you
structural
both
integrity
a
isn't
lifetime
restored
of
overnight
happiness.
after catastrophic
Welcome,
failure.
everyone.
The morning of the
We are
hearing
so
arrived
glad
overcast.
you could join us
The
today
courthouse building
for
stood
this
solid
wonderful
against gray
celebration.
skies, its classical architecture
It means
projecting
so much to
permanence,
see
stability,
all of you here
justice.
today
Inside the
celebrating
hearing
their
room
love.
was smaller than I expected.
We wish
Wood
them
paneling,
all the best.
judge's bench elevated,
Welcome, everyone.
gallery seating for
We are
perhaps
so
30
glad
people.
you could join
Celeste
us on
sat
this
at the
beautiful
plaintiff's
day
table with 2
to
attorneys,
celebrate this
designer
momentous
suit,
occasion.
projecting
To
confidence.
Sarah and James,
She avoided
thank
eye
you
contact
for inviting
with
us to share
Judge
in your
Margaret
special
Chen,
day.
mid-50s, reviewed
Your
the filings
love
with
is an
evident
inspiration
skepticism
to us
towards
all.
Celeste's claims.
It's wonderful
Reynolds
to
presented
see
our
so
case
many of you
first.
here today.
Your Honor, this
We
isn't a
truly
simple
appreciate
contract
you
dispute.
celebrating
It's
this
exposure
moment
of
with us.
systematic fraud.
Good
Ms.
evening.
Morgan has a pattern of
Thank you all
targeting
for being
financially
here.
stable men,
It's a pleasure
marrying
to host
quickly,
you
positioning
in this
herself legally,
incredible setting
then
tonight.
divorcing profitably.
Welcome,
Mr.
everyone.
Boyd is the third known victim.
We are so
We have
thrilled you could
testimony
join
from a
us
previous
today
husband.
on
Kevin
this
Morgan took
beautiful
the
occasion.
stand, sworn in,
We
recounted
are
his
so
experience.
glad you could all
Celeste's
make it here
attorney
today
objected repeatedly,
to share in this
irrelevant to
special
current
moment.
case. But Judge Chen allowed testimony.
To Sarah and
Pattern
James,
evidence is
thank
relevant
you
to
all for
fraudulent
coming out
intent
today to
claims.
celebrate this
Kevin was
incredible moment
articulate,
with them.
detailed,
We wish you
credible,
both a lifetime
describe
of
identical
happiness.
courtship tactics,
Welcome, everyone.
prenuptial
We are
manipulation,
so glad you could join
financial
us today
devastation.
for this
As he
wonderful
spoke,
celebration.
I watched Celeste's composure fragment.
It means so
Small
much to see
gestures
all of you
betrayed
here
growing
today
panic fingers,
celebrating
tapping
their
table
love.
jaw muscles,
We wish
tensing
them
whispered
all the
conferences
best.
with attorneys
Welcome,
growing more
everyone.
urgent. Under
We are so
cross-examination,
glad you could
Celeste's
join us
attorney
on this
tried
beautiful
discrediting
day
Kevin.
to celebrate
Isn't it true
this
you're bitter
momentous
about your
occasion.
divorce, that you've
To Sarah
contacted
and
Ms.
James,
Morgan's subsequent
thank you for
partners
inviting us
seeking
to
revenge?
share in your
I
special
contacted
day.
this young man's
Your
father,
love
Kevin,
is an
corrected
inspiration
firmly,
to us all.
to prevent him
It's
from
wonderful
suffering
to
what I
see so
suffered.
many of you here
That's not
today.
revenge,
We
that's
truly
decency.
appreciate you
Gallery observers took
celebrating
visible
this moment
notice.
with us.
Reynolds then played the hotel recording.
Good evening.
The courtroom heard
Thank you
Celeste's
all for
voice.
being here.
18
It's a
months of
pleasure to
charade.
host you
He
in
actually
this
believes I love
incredible
me.
setting tonight.
laughter. Judge
Welcome,
Chen's
everyone.
expression hardened.
We are
Celeste's
so
face
thrilled
remained
you could
impassive,
join
but
us
her hands
today
trembled visibly
on
on the
this
table.
beautiful occasion.
Reynolds' financial expert forensic accountant
We are
Thomas
so
Brennan
glad you could all
testified
make
about
it here
Celeste's
today
divorce settlements.
to share
Two
in
previous
this special
marriages, both
moment.
ending in substantial financial transfers.
To Sarah
Pattern
and
of
James,
timing
thank
suggesting
you all for coming out
calculated
today to
extraction.
celebrate this
Based on
incredible moment with
documentation,
them.
Ms. Morgan's
We
income
wish
from
you both
consulting
a
work
lifetime of
averages
happiness.
$40,000
Welcome,
annually.
everyone.
Yet her
We are
lifestyle
so
exceeds 3
glad
times
you could
that
join
income.
us today.
The discrepancy is
wonderful
explained by divorce
celebration.
settlements totaling over $400,000
It means
combined.
so much to see
Celeste's
all of you
attorneys
here
argued
today
circumstantial
celebrating
evidence,
their
character
love.
assassination,
We wish
selective
them all the
presentation.
best.
Their arguments
Welcome,
grew
everyone.
increasingly
We are
desperate.
so glad
They
you could
attempted
join
to
us on
exclude
this
the audio
beautiful
recording
day
as
to
inadmissible.
celebrate this
Judge
momentous
Chen denied.
occasion.
They
To
claimed
Sarah
Kevin's
and James,
testimony was
thank you
prejudicial.
for inviting us to share
Denied
in your
again.
special day.
As the hearing progressed,
your
something
love is an
unexpected happened.
inspiration to us all.
Rufus straightened,
It's
strength
wonderful to
visibly
see so
returning to
many
his
of you
posture.
here today.
Watching
We
Celeste's
truly
manipulation
appreciate you
exposed in clinical legal
celebrating this
terms
moment with us.
seemed to restore something in him,
Good evening.
perspective perhaps,
Thank you
or
all for being
objectivity.
here. It's
The
a
ability
pleasure
to
to
see
host
her
you
not as the
in
woman
this
he loved,
incredible
who
setting
betrayed him,
tonight.
but as a calculated
Welcome,
predator
everyone.
whose scheme had failed.
We are
Judge
so
Chen
thrilled
delivered her
you could
ruling
join
from the
us
bench.
today.
Having
on this
reviewed
beautiful
evidence,
occasion.
including recorded admissions testimony
We are so
from a
glad
previous
you could
victim
all
and
make it
financial
here
analysis,
today
this
to
court
share
finds the
in this
prenuptial
special
agreement
moment.
was procured through fraudulent
Sarah
misrepresentation
and James,
and
thank
concealment
you all
of
for
material
coming out
facts.
today to celebrate
The
this
contract
incredible
is
moment
void.
with them.
Plaintiff's
We wish you
claims for
both
breach
a
and
lifetime
damages
of
are
happiness.
dismissed with prejudice.
Welcome,
She
everyone.
paused, consulting
We are
notes.
so glad you could
Furthermore,
join us
evidence
today
suggests
for
potential
this
criminal
wonderful
fraud.
celebration.
The court is referring this matter to
It means
Multnomah
so
County
much to
District
see
Attorney
all
for
of you here
investigation
today
into possible charges
celebrating their love.
under Oregon fraud statutes.
We wish them all the
Ms.
best.
Morgan, you should consult with
Welcome,
criminal
everyone.
defense attorney.
We are
The
so
gavel
glad
struck
you could
with
join us
finality.
on this
Celeste's
beautiful
face went
day
ashen.
to
Her attorneys
celebrate this
immediately
momentous
requested
occasion.
private conference
To
urgency
Sarah and
evident in their
James,
gestures.
thank you
Reynolds
for
leaned
inviting
toward
us
us.
to share in
That's
your special
complete
day.
victory. She has
Your
nothing
love
now.
is an
The
inspiration
annulment will
to us
proceed
all.
without
It's
obstacle.
wonderful to
Outside
see
the
so
courthouse
many of
late
you
August
here today.
afternoon.
We truly
Sunshine broke through
appreciate you
clouds, seeming
celebrating this
improbable
moment
after the
with
darkness
us.
of the hearing room.
Good evening.
Reporters approached, but
Thank you
Reynolds
all for
deflected
being
them
here.
professionally.
It's a pleasure
No
to host
comment
you
during
in this
ongoing legal
incredible
matters.
setting tonight.
Privacy respected.
Welcome, everyone.
Statement forthcoming.
We are
Rufus stood
so
on the steps
thrilled you
physically
could join
present,
us today
but emotionally
on this
distant.
beautiful
It's
occasion.
over, he asked quietly. The civil
We are
case is
so
over, I
glad you
confirmed.
could all make
Criminal
it here today
investigation is
to
beginning,
share
but
in
for
this
you,
special
yes,
moment.
you're free. He nodded slowly,
To
processing.
Sarah and James,
I still can't believe
thank you
I
all
didn't
for
see
coming
it.
out today
Every
to
sign was
celebrate
there.
this incredible
She's a
moment with
professional, I
them.
said.
We
That's
wish you
the
both
point.
a lifetime
Making
of
marks,
happiness.
not see signs.
Welcome,
We
everyone.
walked to the parking structure.
We are so glad
Reynolds
you
followed,
could
carrying
join
a
us
briefcase
today
of legal
for this
documents.
wonderful
The district
celebration.
attorney's office will contact you both
It
for
means so
statements,
much
she
to see
explained.
all of you here
Likely
today
they'll prosecute.
celebrating
Evidence is
their love.
overwhelming. She'll probably
wish
accept a
them
plea
all
deal
the
rather
best.
than trial. As we
Welcome,
reached my
everyone.
car, my phone
We are
buzzed.
so glad
Text
you
from
could
Webb.
join us on this
Daniel
beautiful
Kraus just
day
posted
to
public
celebrate
statement
this
distancing
momentous
himself from
occasion.
Celeste.
To
Claims
Sarah
he was
and
misled
James,
about nature
thank
of
you
her
for
relationship
inviting us
with
to
Rufus.
share in your
I showed
special
Rufus
day.
the message. The
Your
survival
love is an
instinct, I
inspiration
said.
to us all.
Daniel's
It's
protecting
wonderful to
himself
see
now
so
that
many of you
Celeste's
here
scheme is
today.
exposed.
We
Claiming
truly
victimhood
appreciate
rather
you
than complicity.
celebrating this moment
Classic
with us.
damage control. Rufus read
Good
the
evening.
message without expression.
Thank you all for being
Then
here.
finally something
It's
like
a pleasure to
satisfaction
host you
crossed his
in this
face.
incredible
Good, he
setting
said.
tonight.
Let everyone know
Welcome,
what she
everyone.
is. We drove home
We
together.
are so
The weeks
thrilled
after
you
the
could
hearing
join us
unfolded in
today
stages of
on this
recovery.
beautiful occasion.
Initially, Rufus descended into a dark
We
withdrawal.
are so glad you
Moved
could all
mechanically
make it
through
here
days.
today to
Questioned
share in
everything
this
about the
special
relationship,
moment.
reanalyzing every memory through new
To
lens
Sarah
of
and
deception.
James, thank you all
His
for
anger
coming out
surfaced
today to
occasionally,
celebrate this
volcanic but
incredible
brief.
moment with
I
them.
recognized this
We wish you
pattern, I
both
told
a
Reynolds
lifetime
during
of
a follow-up
happiness.
consultation.
Welcome, everyone.
I went through
We
similar
are so
phases after
glad
Elizabeth
you could join
died.
us today
Not
for this
betrayal, but
wonderful
loss.
celebration.
Grief has architecture too.
It-
Give him
it
space,
means
she
so
advised,
much to see
but
all
not
of you here
isolation.
today
Available but not
celebrating their
intrusive.
love.
I followed this guidance.
We wish them all
Rufus
the
stayed in my
best.
guest room, declining
Welcome,
offers to help
everyone.
retrieve his
We are
belongings
so glad
from the
you could
apartment
join
he'd
us
shared
on
with
this
Celeste.
beautiful day
Webb
to
arranged for a
celebrate
service to
this
collect his
momentous
essentials.
occasion.
Rufus
To
just couldn't
Sarah and
face returning
James,
to that space.
thank you for
The
inviting us
second
to
week
share
brought
in your
minor
special
improvements.
day. Your
Rufus
love
emerged
is
from
an
his room more
inspiration to
frequently,
us all.
engaged
It's
in brief
wonderful to see
conversations
so
about
many of
practical
you here
matters.
today.
Still
We
avoided
truly
discussion of
appreciate
Celeste
you
or the wedding, but
celebrating this
functional
moment with
interaction
us.
resumed. By the third
It's
week, some
wonderful to
emotional
see so
processing
many of you
began.
here today.
Late one
We
evening, he
truly
approached me in the
appreciate
study.
you
Dad,
celebrating this
I owe
moment
you an
with us.
apology, Rufus said, for doubting
Good
you,
evening.
for choosing
Thank
her
you all for being
manipulation over
here.
your
It's
protection.
a pleasure
You
to
saw
host
what
you
I couldn't.
in this
I'm sorry.
incredible
You
setting
trusted
tonight.
someone you loved, I replied.
Welcome, everyone.
That's human nature. She
We are
exploited
so
it
thrilled
professionally.
you could join us
You
today
listened when it mattered.
on this
At the
beautiful
wedding, you
occasion.
gave me those 10 minutes. That took
We are
courage.
so glad
How do we
you
fix
could
our
all make
relationship?
it here today
The question surprised
to
me.
share in
Not
this
because it
special
wasn't
moment.
important, it was essential, but because it
To
showed
Sarah
he
and
was looking
James,
forward rather
thank
than
you all
back.
for coming out today
Beginning
to
to
celebrate
rebuild
this
rather
incredible
than
moment
just
with
survey
them.
damage.
We wish
Same
you
way
both
you'd
a
fix
lifetime
any
of
structure, I
happiness.
said.
Welcome,
Assess
everyone.
foundation, repair
We are
cracks,
so glad you
rebuild
could join us
systematically.
today
We
for
resumed
this
Sunday dinners
wonderful
during the fourth
celebration.
week. Simple routine.
It means
Gradually
so much to
rebuilding
see all
connection
of you here
disrupted by
today,
Celeste's isolation
celebrating their
tactics.
love.
Each meal slightly
We
less
wish
strained
them
than the
all the
previous.
best.
By late September,
Welcome,
nearly 6
everyone.
weeks after the wedding
We're so
disaster,
glad you could join
Rufus
us on
mentioned
this
starting
beautiful
therapy.
day to celebrate
Counselor
this momentous
specializing in
occasion.
manipulation recovery.
To Sarah and
She's
James,
helping me
thank
identify
you
the
for
tactics I
inviting us
missed,
to
he
share
said.
in your special
That awareness
day.
prevents repeat,
Your
I confirmed.
love is an
October
inspiration
brought
to us all.
significant
It's
progress.
wonderful to see so many of
Rufus
you here
returned to
today.
work full-time
We
at a
truly
sustainable
appreciate
development
you
firm,
celebrating this moment
re-engaged with
us.
colleagues. Even attended a
evening.
networking event,
Thank
though
you
he
all for
mentioned
being
afterward
here.
feeling
It's a pleasure
hyper-vigilant
to
about
host
people's
you
motivations.
in this incredible setting
Normal
tonight.
responses, therapist assured him,
Welcome,
would
everyone.
diminish with time.
We
Early
are so
November, Rufus
thrilled you
raised
could join us
finances during our
today
Sunday dinner.
on this beautiful
Wedding
occasion.
cost $50,000. My
We are
savings are
so
gone.
glad you
I'll
could
loan you
all make it
$50,000,
here
I said.
today to
3%
share in this
interest,
special
5-year
moment.
repayment. He looked surprised. You don't have to
Sarah
charge
and
interest.
James,
This
thank
is
you
a
all
loan,
for
not a
coming out
gift.
today to
Loans
celebrate this
preserve
incredible
responsibility.
moment with them.
You'll repay
We
this
wish you both
because you'll
a
take
lifetime of
ownership of
happiness.
recovery. He
Welcome,
signed
everyone.
the agreement carefully.
We are so glad
Thank you for
could
treating
join
me
us
like
today
an adult who
for
made
this
an expensive
wonderful
mistake.
celebration.
Mid-November, Reynolds called with updates.
It means so much
DA
to see
accepted
all of
Celeste's
you here
plea deal.
today
3 years
celebrating
probation
their love.
restitution to victims'
We wish
criminal
them
record.
all the best.
She left Portland,
Welcome,
moved to Arizona
everyone.
according to court
We're so
documents.
glad you could
Real
join
estate
us on
license,
this
revoked
beautiful
reputation,
day to
destroyed in
celebrate
Pacific
this
Northwest
momentous
professional
occasion.
circles. Based
To
on your
Sarah
case,
and
Reynolds
James,
added DA
thank
found
you
2
for
additional
inviting us to
potential
share in
victims
your
beyond
special
Morgan and
day.
Pritchard. You
Your
stopped
love
the
is
serial
an
predator,
inspiration
Mr.
to
Boyd.
us all.
Both of you
It's
did.
wonderful
Thanksgiving
to see so
arrived.
many of you here
First
today.
major holiday since
We
the August
truly
disaster.
appreciate you
Rufus
celebrating
suggested
this
inviting
moment
Kevin
with us.
Morgan. They'd maintain contact
evening.
after the hearing, finding
Thank you all for
unexpected
being
connection
here.
through shared
It's a
experience.
pleasure to host
Kevin
you
drove down
in
from
this
Seattle.
incredible setting
We prepared
tonight.
dinner together, 3 men
Welcome,
bound by
everyone.
unusual circumstances.
We are
No
so
mention of
thrilled you
Celeste
could
during the
join
meal,
us today
but afterward Kevin and
on this
Rufus spoke
beautiful
privately for
occasion.
hours. Brotherhood of survivors,
We
Kevin
are so
explained
glad
later.
you could all
Understanding
make it
no
here
one else
today
quite can.
to share
December
in
brought
this
holiday
special
decorations
moment.
I hadn't bothered with since Elizabeth died.
To Sarah and James,
Rufus insisted,
thank you all for
said the
coming out
house needed
today to
light. I
celebrate
didn't
this
argue.
incredible moment
Christmas
with
Eve.
them. We wish
Rufus
you
gave me
both
an
a
unusual
lifetime
gift,
of
a framed
happiness.
photograph of us
Welcome,
from the courthouse
everyone.
steps captured by a
We
news
are so
photographer after the
Glad
hearing.
you could join us
We
today
looked shell-shocked
for this
but standing,
wonderful celebration.
damaged but intact. The caption
It
he'd
means
added
so
read
much
simply,
to see
"Foundation
all of you
secure."
here today
By February, Rufus
celebrating
had
their
found his own
love.
apartment. Not
We
the
wish
one he
them
shared
all
with
the
Celeste,
best.
new space, new neighborhood,
Welcome,
fresh start.
everyone.
The moving
We're so
process
glad
felt
you could
healthy,
join us
natural
on this
progression
beautiful
rather than
day
escape.
to celebrate
He still
this
came for
momentous
Sunday
occasion.
dinners. Late February
Sarah and
afternoon,
James,
Rufus and I
thank
stood
you
on my
for
terrace
inviting us to
overlooking
share in
Portland.
your special day.
Weak winter sunshine
love
broke through
is an
clouds, painting
inspiration
the
to
city
us
in
all.
muted light.
It's
I've been
wonderful
thinking
to
about
see
trust,
so
Rufus
many
said.
of you here today.
I trusted
We
her
truly
blindly.
appreciate
Now I'm
you
tempted toward
celebrating
permanent
this moment
suspicion.
with us.
Neither is healthy.
Good evening.
Trust is important, I
Thank
agree.
you all for being
But
here.
verification
It's
is
a
more
pleasure
important.
to host you
Trust then
in this
verify.
incredible
Watch for
setting tonight.
consistency between words and
Welcome,
actions.
everyone.
Celeste's words
We
were
are so
perfect.
thrilled
Her
you could
actions
join us
revealed
today
truth. Like
on this
blueprint
beautiful
inspection, he said.
occasion.
Design can be beautiful, but you
We are
verify
so
the
glad
calculations.
you could all
Exactly.
make it here
You're an
today
architect's son after
to
all.
share
He
in
smiled.
this special moment.
First genuine smile I'd seen in months.
To Sarah and
Not
James,
forced, not
thank you all for
performative,
coming
but
out today
authentic.
to celebrate this
I'm
incredible
lucky, he
moment with
said.
them.
Some
We
people
wish you
don't
both
have a
a
father
lifetime
who
of
builds
happiness.
cases to save them.
Welcome, everyone.
Some do. They
We
just
are
need
so
to recognize
glad you could
protection
join us today
when it's offered.
for this
I
wonderful
recognize it now.
celebration.
We stood in comfortable silence
It
as the
means
sun
so
set
much to
behind
see
Portland
all
Hills.
of you here today
Relationship not just
celebrating their
repaired,
love.
but strengthened through
We
crisis.
wish them all the best.
Justice served through legal
Welcome,
channels.
everyone.
Fresh
We're
start
so
established
glad
on
you could
honest
join us on
foundation.
this
A
beautiful
text
day
arrived from Kevin
to
Morgan.
celebrate this
Another
momentous
potential victim
occasion.
had contacted contacted
To
him
Sarah and
seeking
James,
verification about
thank you
Celeste
for
Morgan
inviting
before
us to
proceeding
share
with
in your
engagement.
special day.
Warnings spreading
Your
through
love is
informal
an
networks
inspiration
preventing
to us
future
all.
targets.
It's
Rufus read the
wonderful to see
message,
so
nodded
many
with
of you here
satisfaction,
today.
told Kevin
We
to send the
truly
man his
appreciate
contact
you
information too.
celebrating this moment with
Another
us.
catastrophe prevented.
Good
Beyond the
evening.
city mountains stood
Thank you all
solid
for
against
being here.
darkening sky.
It's a pleasure to
Structures
host you
designed to
in this
endure geological
incredible
time.
setting tonight.
Below them, buildings I'd designed
Welcome,
decades
everyone.
earlier, constructed to
We are
withstand
so
storms,
thrilled you could
earthquakes,
join us
years of
today
use.
on this
But my most
beautiful
important
occasion.
work stood beside me, My son
We are
weathered
so
by
glad you
experience,
could
but
all
stronger
make it here
for it,
today
more
to
perceptive,
share in this
more
special
resilient,
moment.
better equipped to build his own future.
It's
The
wonderful
architect's
to
work
see
was
so many
complete.
of you here